Hello, this is the semi-official JoJo's stand tier list, where we are ranking every stand all the way from Star Platinum up to this nightmare over here. Today I have with me Lydia and Kat,
Hiya.
and
Hi.
we're going to be ranking literally every single stand, even the ones we'd rather forget about. So, how we're going to be doing this is a couple of quick ground rules. General rule, spoilers should be fine for the part that you're in. So if you've not read part 8, you should be fine to watch the part 3 through 7 sections. There will be timestamps linked. Also, for stands that have acts, such as Tusk, we'll be considering the whole stand, but for stands that have Requiem versions, we will not be considering the whole stand. I think that's everything that needs to be said. This is every stand. Let's go. So, Star Platinum.
It's a solid,
The
probably a solid
first
S,
stand.
honestly.
10 out of 10.
I'm honestly feeling an A on this. For me, like, S tier is kind of like the god tier stands, you know?
You only want like a few in S tier. That
Yeah, like, S
'Cause,
tier, like, there is a certain level of broken on this list that S tier belongs to.
It's not time. Come on.
And I feel
does
like Star
stop time.
Platinum is like a very solid high A tier, personally. We are considering Star Platinum in the Wilderness, which does make it a bit busted, but then again, for most of the series, JoJo doesn't really practice his time stop, so it's like, I can do 2 seconds. So where we feel about this?
I feel like he's really strong even before he learns how to get time stops. So like before that, he's like a solid A, and then getting time stop, I think, puts him up to an S.
Are we feeling an S on this?
Well, I guess because he only uses it for a little bit, I guess A. Oh, yes.
You see, because I feel like most of the time ability ones in the series are all like really strong, and I feel like the world and the time stop ability is probably one of the strongest. However, I don't know if it quite breaches S tier for me. Like, I feel like S tier. I'm looking at this
We
list
could
of
put it
top
like-
3 stands, and I feel like I'm seeing an S tier in like Cream.
We could put like Star Platinum in between S and A, which is a bit weird to do for the first stand in the video.
The very
but like,
first stand. He's just a big complicated
yeah,
boy. He is
just
the,
to show
he's the
how
original
decisive
punching
we are.
ghost. He's the original punchy boy.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah,
Should we just say?
I would say probably A though, far
A.
stronger.
Yeah, I'm thinking about like the other stands that we're gonna get to, like the really the notoriously busted ones. I don't feel like Star Platinum is on the same level as them, but is also not on the same level like as most of the stands in the series.
Fair enough. We should give it an A then.
Yeah, I feel A is
Yeah, I'd say A.
And as such, the world is also going to go into an A. So, the second stand in the series, the Flamey Boy, Magician's Red. How are we feeling?
I feel like he got nerfed when he joined the squad, so probably B.
I was kind of thinking a C on this, and my reasoning being... So we have Hierophant Green, right? Hierophant Green for me is like the typical kind of B tier stand. Like it's good, and it has a lot of abilities. Like it has its barriers, it has the Emerald Splash that nobody can deflect, and it has the weird mind control ability where it takes control of someone like a puppet that he never used again.
Though it doesn't really. He just possesses one person once, and he's just like, okay, I'm done.
Screw it, time to never do it again. Thank you, Araki.
With Hierophant Green, I feel like it's like a C tier because he has his big attack is the Emerald Splash, which everyone can deflect despite no one being able to reflect it.
Yeah.
So it's a bit underwhelming.
So with Magician's Red, coming back to Magician's Red, I feel like because he's not really a punchy ghost. He doesn't ever have like a stand rush or anything. But the flames, from what we see, are pretty powerful. I mean, they're able to melt through a lot of stuff. But at the same time, when he burns Polnareff at the end of the Polnareff fight, like Polnareff doesn't die instantly. His like skin isn't ripped off.
And
I don't know if that's just Avdol going easy on him, or if that is like the actual limit of Magician's Red's capability. I'm feeling somewhere between either. It's either a B or a C, and I don't know which.
I don't know. I say B. He is still quite strong, even though he doesn't really do anything after a certain point.
Yeah, I feel like it's more Avdol being restraintive rather than Magician's Red not actually having the capability. Certainly once he comes back as well, like in the Judgment fight. When he comes back, he just kicks Judgment's ass, and we know that Judgment is quite a strong stand. Like, Silver Chariot is one of the strongest stands in Stardust Crusaders, in my opinion, and Silver Chariot just gets bodied by Judgment.
Yeah,
I think
it's a comfortable B. Yeah.
Now then, I hate to do this to Joseph.
Don't you dare!
Hermit Purple is kind of shit.
No!
So bad. All it could do was get Dio's nudes. That's all it did.
That's all he needs.
And like, if we think ahead to part 4, when Joseph tries to use it in part 4, because obviously there's this whole big Araki forgot that people talk about where it's like, why didn't you just use Hermit Purple to find part 4's villain? And it's because of the stand energy in the town that disrupted it, from what I understand. Like, the only reason they're able to use it against Red Hot Chili Peppers is because of the whole electrical wiring thing. So if Hermit's Purple only ability, which is basically just like a Doc's ability, can just be interrupted by there being enough stand users in one location, that makes it kind of even weaker. So I kind of feel like
I've got to ask, are we considering the games as well? Because like, in those, he can like throw Hermit Purple and like channel Hamon through it.
Yeah, he can channel Hamon through it. Like in the Dio's World fight, he like makes like a body wiring harness of Hamon to stop Dio from touching him, which is where the infamous knives come from. So I feel like that pushes it up a bit, but I still feel like it doesn't really get above a D tier.
Yeah, same. It's pretty bad.
It is. He can use it as a rope. He can go full Indiana Jones, but it is kind of bad. So we've already talked a bit about Hierophant Green, but how are we feeling for Daddy Kakyoin?
It's a C.
Funny.
I'd say C, definitely. As much as I like Kakyoin, yeah, no.
Yes,
absolutely not.
He fits in with the green colour scheme as well. So now we have our first really terrible stand. Holly's stand.
Oh my god.
That's an F. It just kills her.
But it kills her. I mean, we never see Holly again. I always like to assume, or at least have this nice little headcanon, that she just becomes a full-on stand user after the events of Stardust Crusaders. But working off what's in the canon, it kills her. That is her stand. It kills her. And I think
S rank.
F tier is the tier that should be reserved for stands that kill you, or in some way harm the user. That's such Holly stands is our first F tier.
G.
G tier, yeah. This is what is presumably Jonathan's stand. This is the Hermit Purple that Dio uses.
Oh, is it like the vines or whatever?
Yeah, I think it's a solid D, because it's presumably just the same stand as Hermit Purple. If we assume that Hermit Purple is the stand of Hamon users, then yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Basically, it's the same as Hermit Purple. Okay, so Tower of Grey, what are we feeling?
This is the fly one, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the one that rips out tongues.
I mean, it's pretty good. It's okay. Like, it's just a bug.
It's a bug. It's quite small, but it is fast. Like, if I remember the fight correctly, like, even Star Platinum, who is the speedy boy, cannot catch up to this thing. But then again, its power isn't that strong. Like, if it's only powerful enough to rip out tongues, compared to something like the Order Punchy Man, or even something like the Emerald Splash, like, it doesn't seem to be capable against that. But its speed does make up for that, so I'm feeling kind of like a C on this. It's not terrible.
I think that makes sense, yeah.
But it's not great either. Okay.
It's probably on the same level as Hierophant Green.
Yeah. Okay, so how are we feeling about Silver Chariot? Just the basic regular Silverchair.
Ugh, overpowered for the sake of being overpowered.
Yeah, this is basically the protagonist's stand, let's face it.
Polnareff's Bizarre Adventure right here.
Yeah, that is
Basically.
like having watched rewatched part 3 with my girlfriend recently, it hit me so much. Just how much of part 3 is Polnareff's part. Like half the episodes. I've never read part 3.
Honestly,
I really
it's
get
so
it,
annoying.
but half the episodes in the anime, at least, seem to revolve around
It's because like
our favorite Frenchman.
he just like runs into combat. Like
He is the Leroy Jenkins of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
he waits for no one.
Especially in stuff like Hanged Man. Obviously there was a reason there.
Yeah.
There was very much a reason. But I think he has the confidence to back that up. I think Silverchair is pretty busted. Because not only can it slash people really hard and all that, but it can also like take off its armor to move even faster. And I think it's one of the fastest in the series. Like, I know there's obviously
Yeah.
the whole dumb Part 6 thing, where Star Platinum can move at the speed of fly. Which says a lot about Tower of Grey here. But I would consider, from what we've seen at least, Silver Chariot to be even faster, with its armor off at least. And you've also got, that one time, in the Anubis fight, where he shoots his sword out. Remember that? Where like he like points his sword.
Oh yeah,
and,
that was
like,
stupid.
the blade like shoots out.
Yeah.
He only did it one time, but I think it's pretty confidently an A-tier stand. Okay.
Yeah, I'd say Aang.
Dark Blue Moon. How are we feeling?
I mean, just don't go in the water and you're all good.
Yeah, like, it's a very situational stand. Obviously, it's not the most situational stand. That title probably goes to Catch the Rainbow, but even when it was in the water, it wasn't the most powerful thing in the world.
I guess hit it with a C then. Oh my god, yes, C.
C for the C. We've got to do that. Hitting it with the C. Okay, so next up is Strength. This is my least favorite stand in the entire series. I hate that.
Strength is so stupid.
S tier.
I think.
I think this is pretty solidly an
Maybe-
E tier stand, right?
Nah, the
Yeah.
monkey boat gets an E.
It's a boat. It's just a boat. Okay, so Ebony Devil. So from I read the JoJo wiki about this because this is one I never truly understood the perimeters of. So apparently, you don't need to die in order to use it. You just need to hurt yourself. But the more you hurt yourself, the stronger you are.
It says it grows in power based on the user's hatred for the attacker.
Yeah.
So like,
But
just
Davo
depends on
clearly
how
uses
mad
that
he is
just
at
to
you.
get himself killed. So I think it's residing somewhere in this range, because even when it was the little freaky doll after Davo presumably died, it wasn't that strong.
Mm.
I mean, sure, it tied Polnareff up to a bed, but it wasn't like
And-
hard to outwit. And considering the cost of using it,
If he wasn't playing Self, that would be easy.
yeah, and considering the cost of using it, I'm kind of feeling an F on this. Or maybe an E at best.
I'd say it's an E because it's not Holly Stand at least.
No.
Like,
Oh my god.
And I don't think you have to die to use it. If you had to die to use it, that would be kind of broken.
no, I don't think you do.
Okay, so Yellow Temperance.
Just goo in it.
I think it's a pretty good stand though, if you think about all the ways that it was used. So not only can it disguise you as someone else, even down to like the voice. It seemed to affect his vocal cords because he sounded like Kakyoin. But it can also do like the little like sucky thing where it where it like attached itself to Jotaro and was able to reflect damage onto him. So it's kind of like a less busted Superfly in a way.
Yeah.
I'm feeling a solid B tier on this. Because the damage reflection especially puts a sticky situation on it, no pun intended.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a
As
shame
well
the
as
user was a
the
massive idiot.
scalability. I think it's
Basically.
quite powerful.
Yeah, I think that's a good stand.
It
It's
is.
a good one.
If it's a JoJo fight, it's typically a pretty powerful stand.
Yeah.
So Hangman. This is basically
like-
like a less broken version of Man in the Mirror. Which is how I
Yeah.
feel a lot of part 3 stands are just like less broken versions of stands that come later. Because this was still very early in terms of stand design. So it was like Araki was like toying with ideas, but wasn't ready to go like the whole way with them yet. I think B tier is fair for this because it can move at the speed of light, but Silver Chariot is faster, even without taking his armor off.
For some reason.
I don't know why. Silver Chariot is busted, but at the same time, like, it doesn't work just off mirrors like Man in the Mirror. It works off literally any reflections. Like the reflection.
Yeah,
So
like
if there was a rainbow, it could kill you from the rainbow.
like attacks you from a puddle and all that.
Yeah, like it
It's
attacks
pretty
your
good.
eyelids. Are we feeling A on this or B?
I think that's a pretty solid B. I don't know if it's like
It's not Star
Silver
Platinum.
Chariot level or Star Platinum level.
Yeah.
No.
I feel like B.
Yeah, I'd say B.
Okay, so the best stand in the world,
It's-
Emperor.
Oh my god.
It's just a gun.
Holmos prides himself on being number 2, and like, sure, a gun could kill you, but a gun couldn't kill Star Platinum. It basically relies on being teamed up with stands that are much more powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Empress.
What does this one even do? I can't.
It's the one that like, so it attaches itself to you, and then it like grows. It's like a little like foil until it becomes like, sentient, and then attacks you. So it's like it got stuck to Joseph's arm. I think that's where we got the first. Oh no!
I'm looking at it now. It looks like a Binding of Isaac item.
It does kind of. It's not. It is pretty powerful. Like it's able to destroy Joseph's little robot hand.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like it gets defeated by coal tar. So it's not strong enough to break coal tar. We feeling D on this? Because it's very situational as well. Like,
I think so. Yeah.
anyone else but Joseph probably would have realized this thing wasn't normal when he had like a boil on his arm. Oh my god, my favorite stand. The car.
Oh my god, the car.
It's just a car.
Best stand. S tier, sorry.
S tier, yep. Wheel of Fortune. It would beat the wall over heaven. It would beat
Yes, it would drive over her.
It would.
It is sort of like, it really shows how Araki was just getting started when it's like, it's just a gun, or
It's just
like,
a
it's just a car. Yeah.
It's just some vines. It's just a boat.
Oh my god, Wheel of Fortune is the
Oh my god, it is. I only just noticed the pun, like, Wheel of Fortune. God damn it, Araki. I think E's fair for this.
Yeah, I think so. It is just a car.
Literally just a car. It can drive up things, but it's just a car. Okay, Justice. It's pretty busted. So if you get any damage on you, even a cut, it can basically take full control of you. It's like a more powerful version of Fun Fun Fun, basically.
Yeah.
And this is the one time where it's a more powerful version, because it doesn't need to be directly above you to control you.
Oh my god.
And it can just basically, like, it managed to make not only every person in this town like a zombie that was controlled by Enya, but it also made this ghost town look like an actual town as part of its illusion.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's really strong.
it's really strong. It's not as good as some other zombie stands in the franchise. Cough cough,
Yeah.
Limp Biscuit. But it is, I think it's worthy of A tier.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so Lovers is terrible. Like, Steely Dan's plan was just terrible. It's like, ha 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 ha, yes, Joseph is going to die soon. You do realize that the minute that Joseph died, you were going to be Aurora'd to hell anyway. And even then, they managed to outwit him like not once, not twice, but like 3 times. Because he was like, oh yes, now it's in a child. Are you going to let this child die, Jotaro? And then it's like Hierophant Green had like tacked onto it. I'm feeling D.
I think you got to give it at least some credit for giving us the like 20-second aura, which is amazing.
It
but,
is beautiful. It's not quite the 7-page meter.
Honestly, one of the
But
best
he was
episodes.
deserving of that, you know. He was powerful enough that he deserved the 20-second order. So I think D is fair.
Yeah, I think so.
He's not quite as shit as Car or Gun. The Sun. I feel like we're currently under the effects of this. I feel like
It's
Arabia
hot.
Fats is like probably like hiding behind my mirror right now because it is really, really hot at the minute.
It is too
That is
hot.
just the stand. Again, it's like early Iraqi stand design. It's literally just the sun.
It's pretty bad.
E again.
Yeah, E.
It's about as powerful
I
as
think so.
Car or Gun. Okay.
Basically,
Death
this is
13.
Death 13.
This is just the Nightmare on Elm Street stand.
Yeah, I think it's pretty strong.
I agree. I mean, yeah, it can only attack you when you're asleep, but if you do fall asleep, like, you were basically fucked. The only
Essentially.
reason that they won was because Kakyoin had his standout like as he was getting knocked out. So it seems like if you have your standout when you fall asleep, it gets brought into the dream, but that's never gonna happen, like, on natural circumstances. And because you forget about it when you wake up, you're never gonna be like, ah yes, I need to have my standout. Basically, they went off a coincidence. So I feel
But then, like, if you get knocked out, surely your stand would go as well.
I don't know. Kakyoin went off of coincidence. So I feel like Death 13 is pretty powerful, especially because you don't remember when you wake up. Like, it makes you forget everything.
Yeah.
And it can bring others into the dream, so it can essentially kill the whole team in one if, like, it happened to wait until nightfall. I'm thinking B or C on this,
Basically,
but
yeah.
I feel like it kind of...
Probably B.
Yeah, we feeling good on B?
Yeah, B's good.
Awesome. Now we're finally reaching the end of the first half of Stardust Crusaders. This is going to take a while. Okay.
Yep.
I mean, Stardust Crusaders does have the most stands. Like, once we get to part 7, it's like 2 rows. So we should be fine. But
Yeah.
how are we feeling about Justice? As I said earlier when I was talking about, I think it was Magician's Red, Justice is pretty powerful physically. Not Justice, Judgment. Judgment is pretty powerful physically.
Hell to you.
It was able to, like, basically just beat down Polnareff. But beyond its actual physical strength, the stand ability isn't actually that good.
It's
So
just like fooling people.
Yeah, because it doesn't grant wishes. It just makes clay objects and pretended to be a genie. So, like, if Polnareff had said, like, I wish for world peace, Judgment wouldn't have been able to do anything, basically. And sure, it seems like the clay figures, when they attack, are pretty powerful. I mean, it was Sherry and the, like, clay Alf doll were able to overpower Polnareff. But if I remember correctly, he wasn't using his stand when he got overpowered. Probably because he was like, oh, it's my sister, I don't need to kill her with Silver Chariot. So, I'm feeling like a B or a C. I feel like strength-wise, it's like a B, and ability-wise, it's like a C.
Yeah.
So how we feel?
I think a C is probably safe. I wouldn't give it a B.
Yeah, I feel like a C.
Because
Especially
if it's only like
Magician's Red was able to body it.
If it's only like worthwhile thing as being a punch ghost, then like
because even Star Platinum is like a 10
all the other
times
ones are
punch
better.
ghost and has time stop.
Basically.
Okay, so High Priestess is again, I don't know if it was the utility of High Priestess or what, but it's pretty powerful. Decently, because if you think, like, when it turned into, like, the whale tongue thing, and, like, they did like the diamond is unbreakable. Basically, they said that its teeth, when it turned into the giant mouth, were like as hard as diamonds, and like Star Platinum basically only won by Aura-Auring it really, really hard. And on the basis of that, I feel like it's a B tier. Like, it's not as powerful as Star Platinum, but the metal that it creates is pretty powerful, and if it went full on Metallica and like got into your bloodstream, the iron in your
Oh
bloodstream,
god, yeah.
which is a theme within JoJo that Araki's really loving, you know, the whole iron in your bloodstream. Looking at some of these
There's
stands
not
here,
that much iron. Basically.
I feel like B
Yeah.
is
High Priestess is good. Yeah, yeah,
good.
definitely.
It's good.
Yeah, B.
The Fool, everyone's favorite dog.
Oh.
It's
What?
okay.
I don't like.
I
At
feel
least
like it
there's
gets
the
very
whole.
underutilized, especially because it's only used in 2 fights.
Yeah, it's like is it used in like the Geb fight and
The
the
Geb fight,
pet shop.
Pet Shop obviously, and a tiny bit of Thingy, Vanilla Ice, before Iggy gets kicked.
Yeah.
Or if you're watching the OVA, he gets cut in half, and then like the half that's remaining gets kicked. Love to see it. Thank you, Araki, for the dog abuse. But from what we've seen, it does have some neat abilities. For instance, during the Vanilla Ice fight, they just try and distract Vanilla Ice with like a clay model of Dio, and not only is it able to look like a human being, but it's able to replicate his voice as well. Same with when Pet Shop kills like the fake Sandiggy. I feel like that alone is a pretty powerful ability. It's basically like a better version of Kunum and
Yeah.
a better version of the Clay Dolls. I think it's like a B tier, especially because it's already also got like the ability to glide, a bit of a punch ghost, and it can create those domes. It's pretty versatile, so it kind of makes up for what it lacks in like direct strength with that kind of versatility, especially from Iggy. Like if a dog could use it that well, even if he was a sentient dog, imagine how well a human could use it. Gab
Yeah.
is busted. Gab is really strong, like
Absolutely
surprisingly
insane.
so. It moves
Yeah.
fast. It was able to move fast enough to like cut Kakurion's eyes off, and almost did it to Silver Chariot too. I don't know why I said Silver Chariot, not Polnareff. It can hide in like water bottles and stuff and pierce through them with seemingly a lot of strength.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's really, really good. I think A.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, from what we've seen,
It's pretty good, yeah. I think a lot of like the Stardust Crusaders stands are also better than like I don't know, something from like part 7 in just the way that they have like really strong just like fundamentals.
like a lot
Like
of
in
them are
part
quite
7.
punch ghosty.
Yeah,
Have an ability on
like
top.
if you go forward it would just be like, oh okay, I can't punch, but every time you drink something I can take your memories or something like that.
Yeah,
but,
I feel
like-
like part 7 especially, like the Steel Ball Run universe, they become less like stand abilities and more like just abilities.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
I think that is
to
a
me, oh, I have a rope.
yeah. I think in that way it probably does fit A because there's not much you can do against just like
Water.
yeah, it's
Especially,
just
like-
water.
Because it allowed Endowl to see.
Mm.
Like, you could see when he could echolocate essentially, like when Avdol put his like arm rings on the floor, he could like echolocate them, and like even tell like the weight of a person based on just like the vibrations in the sand and the water. And if you were to use it like Aqua Necklace, I think it'd especially then be really overpowered.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if you got the humidifier in there.
Oh, Angelo, I learnt today, has an IQ of 160, which I didn't realize. So he has a higher IQ than Fugo.
Wait, what?
Yep.
Okay.
I don't know why, but he has a higher IQ than Fugo. You know, the resident smart boy. Okay, so we have Kunum here. I think that's how you pronounce it, Kunum? I don't know.
It's like
It's
Noom
pretty bad.
something. It's not great. Knoom.
I mean, from a certain point
It's
of view,
just
it's like its imitations of faces are strong enough to change fate itself. Because they
Yeah.
allow him to get blown up. because it literally changed his fate to that of JoJo's.
I feel like that's not too relevant unless you've got the comic book stand as well.
Yeah, I think his only power really came from his parent, and even that led to them
Yeah.
losing.
It's just like worse yellow temperance.
Basically, I think
Yeah, it was absolutely trash.
It's not even that convincing, because like he still like maintains like his hat. He just turns it into a giant JoJo hat. Okay, so Toph. It's pretty powerful. It is the first stand that we see that controls the fundamental laws of the universe.
But like, does it control it though, or is it just telling you?
Who knows? Because the events that happen seem to always happen in the Oingo Boingo brothers' favor. So it seems pretty unnatural. Like, it's not like in any other universe they were just going to like go and hit a guy in the face and then get $200.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
But at the same measure, even if it's favored towards its user, the user doesn't control it, which I feel like kind of limits its potential. And it's not got any other ability, so you basically have to be teamed up with someone or else you're going to lose. And the predictions can kind of bite you in the ass, as it did with both of its fights, basically.
So I'd say in the middle.
C is solid,
Yeah.
because it's like, it can work for you or against you, sort of like Dragon's Dream, except less obvious. Anubis.
Sword.
It's a sword. It's just a sword. I feel like it's
good
really
sword.
powerful. I mean, it was able to, in combination with Silver Chariot, basically overpower JoJo. And it's one of the only stands in the franchise to do that. But by the same measure, it directly relies on being carried around and hopefully finding a user every time. And if someone just like has it and takes it off someone and says, you know what, screw this, I'm going to just throw it away, there's not much you can do. And I feel that kind of limits its potential inherently. Because even though it is very, very strong, it is so reliant and so situational. Like, how did it even get to where the Crusaders were? It must have had to go through like 50 users to get there. So I feel like that kind of limits it
Maybe.
inherently. See?
It's like hitchhiking.
I'd say B because it is still really, really strong.
It is really strong though, so I feel like B.
Yeah,
is a
B sounds good.
Okay.
The plug.
The plug stand. This one. Where did Araki get the plug idea from? That is so weird.
I think there's a lot of things you can ask. Where did Araki get that idea from in JoJo?
It's best not to know.
Stardust Crusaders oftentimes reads like a travel blog. Like, here's some interesting facts I learned about Singapore.
I don't think I want to go traveling with Araki.
It would be interesting. I actually knew someone who was a very old fan of JoJo, and back in like 2004 went to a con when Araki was researching for Steel Ball Run, and he's apparently just sitting there at a panel asking people questions about America.
Oh, nice. Research.
Insane.
That's so cool.
I think he probably
It's
like,
pretty
like,
bad.
where do I want to go on holiday next? Ah yeah, I'll set my part there. So, Mariah and Bastet. I mean, the gravitational
It's not
pull
great.
is pretty strong, but at the same time, why would you touch a plug? Like, beyond
Basically.
JoJo being a complete himbo, it is very, very reliant on someone wanting to touch this
The
random
original
plug in the
himbo
middle of the
discourse.
desert. And if you don't do that, it doesn't really work. And it only was really powerful because Avdol and Joseph had like inverse magnetic pulls.
Yeah.
So I feel like that kind of implicitly like puts it in like a D or below. Because if you don't want to touch the plug, you can't do shit basically.
I think it's a D.
It's powerful.
It doesn't like
Yeah.
harm the fighter.
Situational. Even more so
Yeah.
than like Anubis. Okay, so we have Sethan. Sethan is pretty powerful. I mean, if we look at the examples in the show and in the manga,
I
like,
don't think I want to.
yeah, the actual arc is terrible. I don't like this arc, but the stand,
Neither do I.
when like Polnareff jumps over it for a second, he's not even touching it. He's just jumping over it. In like a couple of seconds, he gets de-aged to like a child, unfortunately. And same with Jotaro. Jotaro isn't in it for very long at all, but becomes like little toddler Jotaro, and just like his Aurora with his fists, which makes me very curious about Jotaro's childhood. But within a couple of seconds, it manages to like de-age someone that fast.
I'm sorry, but we were robbed of Joestar.
We really were. That's what the fight should have been, and Heritage of the Future makes me long for it so bad.
That would have been amazing.
It really would have. Araki, why? Like, you had so much potential. You could have
Just
gotten
hops
this, like,
on the
a whole
shadow
next
and he's
say, and
next you'll say.
However, I think that I feel like I don't think it's S. I certainly don't think it's S.
Oh
think
no!
Would have been
either.
so good.
I feel like it's a pretty solid A tier candidate in terms of like, because if you would stand in it for more than a few seconds, you would literally just like go out of existence.
Yeah.
You know, if you were to sneak up on someone with it, they are fucked.
I think if you snuck up on anyone with a lot of these, though, they'd be
definitely.
fucked.
But like, this only needs like a
I
couple of
think-
seconds to kill you.
Yeah,
And even if it doesn't manage to finish the job, but you're still extremely weakened. Like, what you should have done, what Alessi should have done is just wait for the Crusaders to go to sleep. And then just stand over them. And you would have won
Basically.
easily. I feel like even in its arc, its power's limited by the fact that its user is a complete idiot.
yeah. I think that puts it on the level of like a Death 13, in my opinion.
Or feeling
So
weakness
I'd
there?
say it's a B. Yeah.
Okay. Because it doesn't have any power other than being able to like turn you into a baby.
It can have an axe at points.
Isn't the axe just Alessi's axe though? Like it's not part of the stand?
Yeah, I think it's Alessi's.
Like he
Fair.
just carries it around because he loves to chop children up.
Nice.
I don't want to think about that anymore. Anyway, Osiris. Everyone's favourite gambling arc.
I
One of my
actually
favourite
really
arcs
like
of
this
Stardust
arc.
Crusaders.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's so good. But the actual stand itself, it's pretty shit. I mean,
It's not great.
so if your heart
You
gives
have
up on the
to-
bet, basically
You
it
have to
relies on you
accept the
joining
bet first. Yeah.
But if your heart gives up on the bet, if you like say in your heart like, I'm done, then it can take your soul. But that doesn't necessarily mean it kills you, because if you can just out gamble it again, you can get it back. And it doesn't have any punching power, unlike its brother. So I feel like E or D on this.
I mean, you've just got to live in denial and it can't get you.
Exactly. Oh yeah, I won the bet. Don't worry.
I think it's an E. It's not good.
It's
Yeah, no.
This
It almost
this
took the
JoJo
Crusaders
stand,
out.
it's not good.
but it's not good. Fantana rating stands be like, this Holly stand, it's not good. Okay, how are we feeling about Horus?
It's pretty good, isn't it?
I feel like it's like the definitive C tier. Because like, if you think about it going up against something like Magician's Red, that's a bad matchup because fire. But like,
Melted.
it's powerful. I mean, it creates that giant icicle that crushes the car and manages to kill the beggar.
And this is
But-
in Egypt as well.
Yeah,
Which
like
is
the
pretty
ice is
hard.
like, that's some cold shit. It's probably like 0 Kelvin, but by the same measure, that's basically its only ability. Like if you're fast enough to dodge icicles, which stuff like Star Platinum, Silver Chariot, everything in A tier, even some stuff in B tier like Magician's Red, Hanged Man, etc., can like dodge it just easily. You know, you were screwed essentially because that's its only ability.
Basically, I think it works as a C.
I think
Yeah,
C
I'd
is,
say
like,
C.
it's a strong C. Like Hierophant Green, I don't think could beat it. It's a strong C. Okay, so Atom. It's basically the same thing as Osiris, but it is a punch ghost. As is evidence
Yay.
when it grabs onto Jotaro's arm. And even more so, I think the Dolls is a slightly better ability than the like coins, because it manages to preserve the soul even after like the user's died, so they can still have a consciousness. Because obviously when they beat Osiris, when he falls over at the end, and Darby falls over, like you see all the souls of the gamblers who are in the coins fly up into heaven. But
Yeah,
with
the soul
Darby
reading's pretty good.
younger, with Terrence, they're still conscious in there. So I feel like it makes it a bit more powerful. I feel like it's not more powerful than Osiris by a lot, but I feel it manages to be D, if only for being a punch ghost.
Yeah, you still have to like accept the bet or whatever
Yeah.
to make it have any like
But
real power.
It doesn't rely on you just like being an idiot and being like, yes, I'll do this bet. Like it can just grab onto you.
Hmm.
Tenor sax, everyone's favorite stand. It's not.
Is this
it's
the one
not
that just
Holly's
makes
stand.
it like just a really weird building, basically?
It's basically
just
like a
creates
shitter version
maze.
of thingy of strength.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not Holly's stand, but I think it is knee.
I think it's like very lowy.
Yeah.
Barely doesn't kill you.
Just like
But-
put him in the bottom right corner of E. Like,
Okay. Set over
cool.
there.
William by himself.
Okay, so we have Cream.
Pretty strong. Esther, yeah.
I feel like S tier.
I guess it's risen to the top. Cream.
It's basically
The
like a
cream
better
rises
version of
to
the
top.
hand. Because if
Yeah.
you think about the Red Hot Chili Pepper fight, I remember Akira saying like, "Oh, your stand, the hand is so slow." That sounds like a Dr. Seuss book.
Mhm.
the stand in the hand. But like it's slow and it only uses its right hand, whereas Cream is very clearly fast because it basically managed to almost outpace Silver Chariot, which is we've determined is like a super fast stand, and can
Mhm.
like take out a much larger area, and the user is invulnerable whilst it's doing it. I don't know how. I
pretty
really
good,
don't know
yeah.
how Vanilla Ice lost.
Uh,
I think it's basically just being angry over Iggy.
mm,
S tier, easy. The world, I
Yeah.
think this is one of the easiest ones. It's A.
Yep. So
it's
in the Star
just
Platinum.
goes with
It's Star Platinum. I think
yeah.
it's slightly more powerful than Star Platinum, at least at the time, but
Yeah,
they're pretty
yeah.
much equal. It's A.
He can stop
easy.
time for a bit longer.
Yeah,
about
he
it.
can do 10 seconds, and he can do roll roller da. Charmy Green.
Oh god. Hold on.
Kyoin, did you lay this egg?
Oh my god.
This is Clamp Masterwork. Forget Card Captain.
what
This
what does
is
this
real.
How
do?
dare you? Well, yeah.
So
Charmy
it's, from what I
Green.
understand, from what I remember, it's basically like a combination between Star Platinum and Emerald Hierophant Green.
I'm looking at its abilities right now. It's got the Uria Rush, which is just it's just aura basically.
But it can also do the Emerald
Oh,
Spark.
no. Yeah, and the Emerald Star Finger. Charmy Green is capable of firing emerald-shaped destructive energy from its fingers, similar to those used by Hierophant Green. The name is in reference to the attack Starfinger, so it's literally just the Emerald Splash, but they replaced it with Emerald Starfinger.
Oh my
It's about
god.
Okay, I think B then, because it's a mix between the two.
Yeah.
We'll compromise. And then we have it. Stardust Crusaders is done. Finally, that.
We're counting that as part of Stardust Crusaders.
Yes,
I mean,
we
we
are
might as
counting that as part of
well.
Stardust Crusaders. That is the ending. Kakyoin lives. They go off and have a nice, happy home life. And Dio is their neighbor.
Yeah.
Wait,
I think that's the longest.
does that
part.
actually? Does that actually happen?
Yes, that is the part of the manga. Is that
It
like,
is the
they're
greatest
neighbors.
thing.
Oh my
JoJo and
God.
Kakyoin are married, and Dio is their neighbor, and they have a baby called Jota, and he has a stand called Charmy.
Mhm. The only part I've seen is I've seen like the picture of Jota, I've seen his stand, and I've seen the text bubble Kakyoin, did you lay this egg? That's it. It's so good.
It's
My
very
god.
bizarre. Okay, so part 4, my third favorite part. I love this
It's up
part,
there
and
for
the
sure.
stands in it are pretty busted.
Read it.
I'm
Mm.
clicking one of the most busted stands here. Also this one, but I think Crazy Diamond is like a very definitive A tier.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's great.
In terms of physical power, I think it's slightly less strong than Star Platinum, but
Mm.
it's still pretty powerful. I mean, when it fights Red Hot Chili Pepper basically says like, I am screwed against Star Platinum, but I'm also pretty screwed against you. And I honestly think that the restoration ability is one of the most powerful and inventive in the whole franchise. In terms of like,
Yeah.
he can not
With
only
the,
basically make everyone invulnerable except himself, so long as they don't instantly die. But the way
when like
he can,
he's
like,
throwing the
break things
glass
down and
and
then
all that.
change them, like in the Red Hot Chili Pepper fight where he changes the like concrete back into coal tar, and
Changes
when he
Jotaro's hat.
changed Jotaro's hat, and in the Kira fight at the very end when he like takes the blood off of Kira's like off the glass shards and then redirects them back to Kira using his blood.
That's one of the coolest things. Like,
I mean, it's pretty
so
fucking
good.
powerful. I think A tier solidly.
Yeah, definitely.
Aqua Necklace is again pretty powerful. I think it's busted a bit more because its user is actually quite smart and the fight is quite tactical. I mean, Angela is able to stake them out for quite a while, and of course,
His IQ is so high. Yeah.
But by the same measure, he gets beaten by like a water bottle. First, he gets trapped in the like the little liquor bottle, and then later on, he gets trapped in like a glove that Josuke puts into his mouth. Like, he shreds it up and puts it in his mouth, and then restores it.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a pretty solid B tier.
I
It's
think
not quite
so,
as
yeah.
good as Gab. We feeling B tier?
Yeah, I'm feeling pizza.
Awesome.
Yep.
The hand.
The hand
it wasn't Okuyaku's.
If it weren't restrained by
that's
its
an A, I
user,
think.
it would be much more powerful.
It's
No.
also quite slow.
With
so-
Okuyasu, it's like down here. But like in terms of raw potential, it's like I think it's an A.
Yeah.
It's not as good as Cream, but it's still very good.
No.
Okay, worst company. my favorite shirt of all time is the Diamond is Unbreakable Hot Topic shirt, where they have all the stand names on the back, like it's like a tour, like it's like a band tour. It's supposed to be like that.
Yeah.
But because it's from Hot Topic, it's all like the censored
Oh,
stand names.
God.
So it's like Shining Diamond, Worst Company,
Oh no.
Deadly Queen. And I really want
That's
that shirt
awful.
because it's just really funny.
I want to get ones with filthy acts at a reasonable price on it.
Yes.
Yeah. Flaccid Pancake. Zipper Man. I feel like worst company, Bad Company is like a strong like candidate for C or D. I mean,
I think it's probably a C.
it packs a lot of punch in those little bullets.
See,
And the
yeah.
fact that it has tanks and helicopters, yeah. C. Okay, Echoes. Echoes is good. Echoes is very good.
I think
We're
it's really
considering
good.
all the acts here, so we're considering Act 0, the egg, Act 1,
Mm.
which basically just
The
makes
egg.
it easier, and then more notably Act 2 and Act 3, which is obviously turning the sounds into physical effects and then free freeze. Now, from what I understand, Koichi can switch between these at any time. So he can...
I think so, yeah.
Once he gets Act 3, it's
He can in the
switch
game.
with Act 3. Which is, again, I think, is
Yeah.
the distinction between something like Gur or, like, the different acts of Whitesnake. Because with those, like, Pucci cannot get Whitesnake back. Whereas with this, I think he can switch between the acts. Same with, if I understand Johnny. Johnny can, like, use all the different acts of Tusk. So which I feel like puts it in either B or A. Free Freeze is pretty powerful. But I feel like, honestly,
Act
his
3
best
is really
ability
good.
is the Act 2 ability. But then we've got to think about, like, a silent way and stuff. I feel like it's B.
I think so, yeah.
B. Okay.
It's like,
Yeah, yeah.
This is the Nijimura father stand. Which is basically like the little green goblin Eggman.
oh, yeah, that's an F.
It's an F. I mean...
You can go with Hoya.
Is it an F? I mean, you can't
Yeah,
die.
what?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
sucks.
but you can't live either.
Yeah, okay, it's an F. I'm sorry, man. You can't be cured either. Like, it's pretty invulnerable. I always find it so hilarious to think that, like, had it not been for the Crusaders, that would have happened to JoJolion and Polnareff too. And just imagine this little, like,
Yeah.
green Frenchman walking
Oh,
around.
yeah.
Okay, Red Hot Chili Pepper is strong. So not
Really
only can
good,
it
yeah.
go through all the electrical wires, just all of them, and also convert itself into like a battery or an RC plane. Which it seems like, if I remember correctly, its power is dependent on what the source is. So if it's in something pretty powerful like a TV or like an electrical pylon, cough cough superfly, then it is like strong. But if it's in something with a weaker battery, it is not as good. But it can basically just teleport to anything if it gets close enough, and it can carry people through power lines. I feel it'd be on this.
I think
maybe.
Makes sense, yeah. It's like it's not stopping time level.
No,
a few things are.
It's not the Emerald Splash either.
No, it's good.
It's good. Okay, so we next have the lock. The lock is bad.
Lock's pretty bad, yeah.
I feel like it's a D almost because, like, if I remember the fight correctly, it can kill you.
It can.
Like, it almost drives Koichi's mother to suicide. When she like gets the knife out the drawer and is like, I can't take the weight of this guilt anymore. So it's not like these stands where it's like it's got a very low chance of killing you. Like it could kill you, but it's not.
And then I'd say it's like Darby. Whereas if you're in denial, would it do anything?
Yeah, like it basically like Koichi basically manages to convince them that they're good, and then they manage to break through it. So I'm gonna put it in. Okay. 1 second, I'm just going to pause this because my dog is barking. 1 sec. Okay, so now we have Surface. Again, I think a lot of the stands from the early part 4 are pretty terrible, and this fits in.
Yeah,
I don't think it's as bad as the lock because it does have quite a bit of combat capability. I mean, it knocks out those bikers with seeming ease, and from what I understand, it can like, so if you're facing it or viewing it and you're the target, it can basically reflect your actions, but not if you're not in the same area. So like if Josuke and Surface were in another room, that like the Surface Josuke couldn't control Josuke, but if they were facing each other like they were at the very start of the fight, they could. And the replication is perfect, so it's a lot better than something like Kanum here. So I think he's fitting. Certainly not as powerful as stuff in C tier, like.
I think it's a D.
Horus.
Yeah.
Yeah, D. Okay, now we have Love Deluxe. Love Deluxe is pretty powerful. So not only is it able to
It's pretty good, yeah.
Like, so it can not only create giant barriers of like hair, like it when it's controlling the whole house and it like manages to like wrap itself around the house. Seemingly that would work like Hierophant's barrier where it can sense things as well, but it can also implant its hair in other people, like when it sets the girl's hair on fire and controls Koichi and lifts him to the roof.
She stops using it, doesn't she?
She does, yeah. She basically never uses it after the initial fight, but it is pretty powerful, so I feel like it's a solid B tier. And why I'm going to say that is because I feel like a certain stand down here is a tier above it.
Ooh.
So I feel like if we put Love Deluxe here, that kind of tracks well in terms of like power scaling. Not to get too deep into power scaling, but Pearl Jam is bad.
It
combat
doesn't do much.
Very bad.
I mean, like,
Just
could it create a meal that
delicious.
kills you? Probably, but at that point, why not just poison the meal? It's not F tier, it doesn't hurt you, and like if you're talking about like wanting to actually improve people's lives, sure, but I'm talking about like we're in a coliseum, who's gonna live and who's gonna die. I'm sorry, Tonio. You're screwed.
No.
Okay, Achtung Baby. It's pretty powerful.
Honestly, I think it's not great because even if you are invisible, you can't do much while invisible.
No.
Especially if you are a baby.
Yeah, like obviously this is like Shizuka is like a literal toddler, and so we don't know like if it were like in the hands of Josuke or an adult user, how it would be like. Could you control it properly, etc., etc., etc. But from what we've seen, I don't know. C? I feel like I'm comfortable putting it in C.
I think it's C.
Yeah,
I think C is pretty
like,
good.
you can turn the ground around you invisible. You could turn like, you know, you could turn someone's arm invisible. So it almost kind of
You
works
could,
like
like-
thingy, Wakapipo's, like steel balls. You could almost kind of have
Yeah.
that similar effect, and that really screw people up in part 7. Okay, Heaven's
Yeah.
Door is an S tier. I'm sorry.
Yes.
It's S tier. It's really, really busted. You could write in someone, you know, I will lose this fight, and they would just give up.
Basically.
Heaven's Door can beat like if Jotaro was like, oh yeah, Ora, I don't want to fight you anymore. I'm going to Aura myself.
Essentially.
It is really powerful. Now, there is kind of like a change in how the stand works, because initially you needed to look at the manga Pink Dark Boy in order to open up, but later that doesn't happen. So I'm gonna work off this.
Did they ever explain why?
Than the manga, and that Rohan just thought you did. And if
Yeah.
that's the case, then it's easily an S tier. What do we have next? We have Rat, everyone's favorite stand. Rat.
I think it's because I think with Heaven's Door he has to like draw its image with his finger or something in the air.
Ah, okay. So he's still kind of drawing the manga.
Yeah, yeah.
Still an S tier, I think.
That's why it looks like the protagonist of Pink Dark Boy.
Yeah, because it's not like that's not actually its like punchy ghost form. It's just that's what they see before it opens up.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, that works out. So, with Rat, how are we feeling? Rat is decent.
It's actually-
DSC?
It's actually pretty okay considering it's.
It takes down Star Platinum.
It does. It makes Meat Cube.
The Meat Cube. I'm currently, because I'm rewatching Diamonds Unbreakable with my girlfriend right now. We are currently just about to do the Action Baby stand. But from what I remember, I'm excited because we're watching it uncensored, which I've never done before, like watching the Blu-rays. So I'm excited to see
Ooh.
the Cube in all its glory, outside the manga release.
Mm,
But it manages to make Meat Cube, but I don't know, like, could it make Meat Cube out of, like, Josuke or, like, Jotaro? Because obviously I remember there's the bit where Jotaro's hand gets, like, melted and then Josuke manages to restore it. So it is
Yeah.
pretty powerful.
That's so
Basically, now it's
disgusting.
But it's almost
really
like a
gross.
worse version of Green Day. I feel like C. It
Yeah.
also has the gun, it has, like, the turret. It's like
No, I
that.
think it's a B. I think it's really good. It's
I
at
think
least
it's a
on the level of those things.
Yeah, I could go for B. It's like
Yeah.
it's about as good as Red Hot Chili Pepper. It takes down Star Platinum.
It does.
Harvest is like surprisingly decent
Mm.
as a unit. And obviously as one, but like it's terrible. But like I think when in Kira versus Shigechi, Kira notes that like if he beats up even like 10 of them, it doesn't harm Shigechi at all. So it doesn't have like typical stand damage reflection, which I think just makes it that much more powerful. But I don't think it's above B really. I think it's like a C.
Apparently there are 500 of them, so
500 of them.
yeah.
What are we feeling? Are we feeling B or a C on this?
Probably C.
I think it's a C as well.
Okay. There are 500 of them, but they aren't that powerful. Cinderella is terrible. I'm feeling an E on this.
Yeah.
It's a very
Yeah.
low E. Because, like, it can kill whether it's even trying to help. It's not like Pearl Jam where, like, unequivocally they're made better. Like, Cinderella, if you don't choose the right face, you die.
Basically.
It's terrible. It is a punch ghost from what I understand. Like, it could be used as a punch ghost, but it's not going to be. Okay, so Killer Queen. For Killer Queen, we are counting all of its bombs. So we're counting the first bomb, we're counting Sheer Heart Attack, and we're counting Bites the Dust. It's an S.
I think it's a solid S or A.
Definitely yes.
It's S tier because you got to count Sheer Heart Attack into that. Sheer Heart Attack is so good. You've got to count Bites the Dust into that, and the first bomb. The first bomb is probably an A ability, but I think Sheer Heart Attack and Bites the Dust are both S. And like, had Kira like combined them, because from what I understand, he can switch between the 3 bombs at any time.
Yeah, he can.
So like, had he used Sheer Heart Attack during the Bites the Dust arc, he would have won easily.
Yeah, it's just that you can't use like bites the dust while you're using the bombs or something like that.
Yeah, you can't like combine them, but you can use
Mhm.
them. Okay.
Maybe like you can use Killer Queen's like right side of the body while using Sheer Heart Attack.
Yeah, because like it's when Sheer Heart Attack activates, he gets the little imprint on his hand, doesn't he? And then when
Yeah.
Sheer Heart Attack gets damaged, Sheer Heart Attack would have won had Koichi not suddenly developed Free Freeze, which Free Freeze always kind of bugs me because it's just an ability completely unrelated to any of the previous abilities.
It is a little bit,
It's like,
yeah.
there's a progression like sound, but now it does things. Wait. I think it's very much like a Star Platinum World case where Raki's like, I don't know how I'm gonna beat this thing I just made. I unleashed a monster onto the world, and now I need to have an ass pull. Okay, so we have
But-
Atom Heart Father.
It's not great.
It's not great. It doesn't do much, but it does allow the user to persist after death in a direct
Yeah.
way, and fly around.
I think with the whole, but even if you are persisting after death, you are like stuck in a Polaroid.
And is that not worse?
But
Maybe.
from what I understand, if I remember correctly, he isn't stuck in a Polaroid. He is stuck in like several Polaroids. Like he can, if you remember the first fight with him, before JoJo like folds the picture over and like seals it up, he could like transfer to any picture through like looking at it. So it's almost like the Hanged Man, but for pictures. And like if you're in the world of the picture, he can damage you. So I think that puts it into a D, because it can have combat capability. It's just that like after his first fight, he gets locked in to that picture mode and then just basically flies around and persists.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we have Boy 2 Man, everyone's favourite stand. This is the only arc in Diamond is Unbreakable I don't like, and that's just cool.
Really? I thought it was okay. It's not
just
the worst
forgettable and
stuff.
bland.
Yeah.
It's not very good. I mean, you have to be like, yes, I want to play rock paper scissors, and then you have to be like, okay, I'm going to lose.
And then you have to
And then you
do it
use
3 times. Yeah.
Like, if Rohan wasn't so stubborn, would it have done anything?
No, like I think it was like a stand designed just to annoy Rohan, and that's it. And even then, all it was a mild annoyance. And it gave Ken the user, like the giant hole in his mouth as well. Not very good. Okay, so Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Pretty cool.
It's decent.
He just turns into things, doesn't he?
Yeah. So are we like, is he a stand or is he an alien? I want to hear your hot takes.
Ooh,
I think alien. Because when he gets hit with the arrow, it reflects and like bounces off of him. But considering it as a stand, he can see stand users. He can see stands.
I think
Are we
he's a
counting the
stand.
weakness to like loud noises, like the ambulance noise, as a part of the stand?
I think that's a part of the stand, yeah.
Yeah, it's not just Mickey Taka like being like ugh noises. In that case, I think it's solidly a C tier, because although you can change into anything, like if Mickey Taka really wanted to, he could be like, now I am Big Gun.
Yeah.
He's still probably
Yeah,
when
yeah.
it's like Magician's Red or anything. And if any of these stands can just find a way to make like a loud noise, they're screwed. I do feel really terrible though putting all these stands beneath Charlie Green. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not even Charlie Green.
How dare you?
Highway Star. It's pretty good.
It's really good, yeah.
It's really
That's
big.
one of my favourite arcs.
It is the foot fetish stand.
oh my god.
It can track into your scent. So if it manages to find a scent, it can suck the life energy out of you. So it not only damages the enemies, but it heals the user at the same time. It's basically like a vampirism effect.
And it's the
And it's
arc
long
that
range. Like it's an automatic tracking stand.
I
so it doesn't
refuse
harm the
was
user.
from.
I think solidly B.
Yeah, solid B.
It's not quite on the low tier, but it could easily outclass any of these.
It's very good.
Stray Cat.
Are we considering this like combined with Kira? Or
I don't think so, no. I think it's just Stray Cat on its own. So it's just
I would
balls.
say maybe C, because it's kind of limited, can't really do anything by itself.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
like So if I remember correctly, Stray Cat's bubbles explode on impact because it's combined with the first bomb.
Yeah.
So on its own, it is just bubbles. But if I remember correctly, in the initial Stray Cat versus Kira fight, it still manages to do damage to Miss Kawajiri. Like it takes off one of her toenails, I think. So it can still still hurt. And in combination, it's great. So I'm feeling either a C or a D on this.
I think it's a C.
I can go for C. Because it does damage, and it allowed the cat to persist after death. Which I am a fan of.
It's user where it's at.
Yeah. And in combination, it's extremely powerful. Although it is in combination with an STS stand. Superfly.
The pylon.
It's busted. Superfly is
I think it sucks.
Do you?
It's so bad. What do you mean?
Okay, so
You can't,
let me make my case. Let me make my case for
Okay, okay.
So, you have damage reflection, right? If you hurt Superfly, it reflects back into you. You have the metal effect, where if you try and leave, it turns you into metal. Those two alone, like, could beat most of the stands on this. Obviously, it's situational in as much as you have to enter it. But if you enter it, you were screwed.
But like, he can't move. He can't leave the pylon. So like,
is the stand
it's
the pylon,
total.
Or is the stand attached itself to the pylon?
I think the stand's the pylon, and plus he wouldn't be able to move to another one because he literally can't leave the one he's in.
Should we
I just think.
Put it and see. Because if you enter it, you were screwed.
Yeah, but that's a big if.
Unless someone, it's like Sugar Mountain almost, where unless someone comes and like frees you and ends your misery, you are screwed.
Yeah, basically.
But it is a big if.
I think. Yeah, let's compromise with C. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is like it's powerful, but only in certain situations. Sort of like Catch the Rainbow, which we'll get to.
Well, one situation.
Okay. One situation. As well, again, it depends on the occasion, because like if you were in the desert or something, you know, if Superfly was in Stardust Crusaders, no one's gonna go in this giant pylon in the middle of the desert. But I think it works quite well for Morio. But is it that the stand took the form of a pylon because it was in Morio? We'll never.
I mean, you say that, Joseph would probably walk into it.
He probably would. He'd probably be like, oh, a giant pylon? Perfect. And then end up trapped, and then every Stardust Crusader would get trapped and they'd lose. Enigma.
I think Enigma's really cool, but I don't know how good it is.
I don't know how good it is. I love the fight, but I don't think it's that good. Especially now. Nowadays, I don't feel like people get as scared as easily. Like if you're in like the 1920s, people would be like, golly gee whimpers, and like everyone would die for it. But nowadays, like, no. I feel like Teranosuke Miyamoto, yes, I remember his name, didn't really go far enough with it. He could have ripped up the paper and then just killed them instantly. But he like really wanted to like just screw around with people, and I think that kind of limits the stand's potential.
No, but you can put the gun in the paper. Think about that.
Oh god, the gun in the paper. Oh my god. How did he even get the gun in the paper? Did he make the gun?
I mean,
like maybe I'm forgetting.
he must have done.
Scared of the gun. And I feel like
No, but did he have food in the paper as well?
Because like it only works for Enigma Boy because he knows the tells of when people scared. But like if you didn't know those, you wouldn't really be able to tell when someone was scared, so it wouldn't work as well. Again, I'm feeling a C on this almost.
Yeah, I'd say C
I
then.
think the C is on it. Yeah.
It's powerful if it gets you. Which I feel like is like the theme of C. If it gets you, it's powerful.
Yeah, a lot. A lot of them are like that.
It kills you.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's terrible.
It's so
it kills you. Okay, and now we have the best stand in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Rohan's Gucci bag.
I'm sorry, what is this?
This one, the one shot, Rohan goes to Gucci. When Rohan goes to Gucci because he has a bag, but when you put stuff in it, they disappear. But when he goes to Gucci, I think this is in one of the Spur one shots. Alongside
it's just listed on here as the Gucci bag stand.
S tier.
The Gucci bag stand.
Is that even a question?
Gucci basically just explains that, hey, this basically, it's almost an early form of the Rokakaka, in as much as it performs equivalent exchange on any items put into it. So, if I remember correctly, Rohan puts a $60 banknote in it, and ends up getting the $60 back in other forms. So, like, he gets a free hotel room for some reason, which, like, wins.
Wow, he paid $60 to get a free hotel room. Amazing.
No, you're putting that in S.
S tier. No. So I think it's kind of B because it's basically useless.
I think so, yeah.
There are two situations where it'd be useful, right? Number one is if you were under the effects of Sugar Mountain, because you could just put all the money in there and get it back in different ways, and bam, the stand's defeated. And two, if you had the Microman curse, because you could just put all the money in there and you'd still get the effects of the money, but you wouldn't like be drowning in it. However, both of those in the SPR universe, so the Gucci bag is useless.
It's so bad.
No.
Okay, so we're
Part 5.
Part 5. It is a very powerful part in terms of stand powers. There are a lot of beastie boys in here. And gold experience.
Part 5 just has some of the best fights in the series, in my opinion.
It really does. Whenever I describe Part 5 to someone and the appeal of it, it's not my favorite part. It's like kind of mid-tier in terms of my rankings. But whenever I describe it to someone, I always say it's like the action movie part. It is like the breakneck pace of it, the fights. It's this massive big action movie, and I love that about it. Like the train fight, the Grateful Dead fight on the train, easily like top 3 JoJo fights.
So good, yeah.
So good. Gold experience, I think, is pretty solidly an A. It becomes sort of like a healer.
Definitely.
Diamond later on, but it also has like the ability where you like have an out of body experience.
I think we'll get to that. The absolutely stupid broken version.
Yeah, obviously, like gold experience reckon is an easy S, but I feel like gold experience alone is just an A because it can create life, so it can not only replicate body parts and revive people and stuff, and it manages to put Bruno into that weird ghost form where he's like a zombie for a bit.
Yeah.
But it can also it can track things, like when it does the thing with Chocolata with the beetle where it like comes back to him. The damage reflection with the frog. It's pretty powerful.
Yeah, I think
it's
an A. Sure.
It's also an A, I think, honestly. It's really powerful.
Yeah, because he hides in the zipper void.
He hides in the zipper, so it almost has kind of Cream's power where he can hide in the dimension of darkness, which is presumably the same dimension of darkness thing. Like Bruno goes in there and just says like hi to disembodied.
They're just hanging out.
It's pretty powerful. He can also unzip himself and also zip things back on. Like when Trish's hand gets cut off, he zips it back on and it manages to stick.
Yeah.
And presumably, I kind of consider it to be like a worse version of Stone Free. It is a punchy ghost, and it could presumably create a Mobius strip. Who knows?
Yeah.
But also, like, I always think to the classic part in the Grateful Dead fight where he like just unzips himself on the train and like almost dies, but manages to like basically not exist. As well as like creating portables. It's powerful, is the point. Black Sabbath. It's pretty good. So it can only move in shadows. If it comes out in the sunlight, it's screwed. But it somehow manages to hold a stand arrow in its mouth. I don't know if the stand was created to do that or if Polpo just used it like that.
Yeah.
And it's fast in the shadows. It's like the speed of light, I think, in the shadows. It's really fast, really strong in the shadows. But it's obviously you have to be somewhere shadowy. Or else it's useless. So it is situational, but shadows are way more common than like rain or someone happening to go into a pylon. So I think that doesn't hamper it nearly as much. I think a solid B tier on this.
I think that's pretty.
It's good.
That makes sense.
It's like it's Highway Star good, you know. It's good, but it's not like the best.
Yeah.
Moody Blues is terrible. I'm sorry.
Excuse me?
But it's terrible.
It's pretty bad, yeah.
It is. Like, it can't be used as a punchy ghost. It has no offensive capabilities, which is sadly why we've never seen it back here in any of the fighting games. And whilst the rewind ability is cool, and does allow for some cool things, like when it makes the bust of Diavolo, and when it is able to rewind the events on the boat to see what Soft Machine was doing. It's not great. I think D. How are we feeling about D?
I think D makes sense. It's got like some benefits.
It's better than the
but like,
that's
How dare you?
That's my quote.
No, it's below the bag.
It's better than the Gucci bag. Okay, 2020.
No.
So I think D. Okay, so now we have Soft Machine, which is very terrible. Or is it? So it flattens you.
Yeah.
If it like pierces you with its little like skewer. Okay. But it can also flatten other things. Like it managed to flatten the boat and put the boat inside the boat.
Oh my god.
It had like a little boat skin on top of the boat. And it can flatten
I
the
think it's
user.
pretty okay.
Yeah, it's not as terrible as when I first thought about it now and then thinking about it more. How are we feeling about this?
I think a C makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy with the C. It's good. But it's not terrible. It's not terrible, it's not good.
Yeah, basically.
It's just average. It's one of the it's one of the more forgettable fights from Part 5. Apart from obviously the torture dance. For counting F tiers, stands that hurt their user.
Oh god, what's this one? I can't see it.
Solid F.
What are you
excuse me?
doing?
It's at least like better than Emperor,
It is better than
I
Emperor.
think.
It's hampered somewhat by the fact that its user is the biggest himbo in the franchise. But it is
Very true.
So whereas Emperor has like direct control of the bullets, like it can move the bullets, with Sex Pistols it just Sex Pistols it just like redirects them. Like it keeps them like a football. But
Yeah, but it's like having a bunch of pets in one, so that's pretty cool.
yeah, they need feeding. They're high maintenance.
Yeah.
They really are high maintenance. And from what I remember, if like one of the pistols gets damaged, it doesn't impact Mister. But if all of them die, then Mister dies.
Yeah.
And there's only 6 of them, so it's not like Harvest, where like you're not going to kill all 500. I feel it gets solid D. Because it can be powerful and redirected, and when they do like the big football kick against Craftworks user.
I think it's a C at least.
What do you think, Lydia? How are you feeling about this? I don't think it's above a C, certainly not, but I could see either. And we've got a tie
Are
here.
you really putting it below Hierophant Green? Like, or that far below it? I think it is definitely a C tier.
Okay. I'll compromise. Now we have Craftwork.
Can't remember what this one does.
Okay, so this is the stand that, like, it can suspend gravity on things. So, like, it can, like, if you had, like, a rock in the air, it could suspend the rock. And then, like...
Oh, yeah, I remember
get
this one now.
build up power. It's essentially, how I always describe it, it's like the time stop thing in Breath of the Wild, where, like, you stop the time on an object and then, like, keep hitting it and it gains more momentum and then just, like, launches.
Yeah, it's like the stasis room.
Yeah. As well as being a punch ghost. So I think it's pretty powerful.
It's pretty good, yeah.
B?
But like, if you just walk out the way, like, it was only good because Bruno was stuck there. Bruno? Who was it? Mister, sorry.
Yeah,
It was Mr. Yeah.
Got there in the end.
Although, like, Jorna was part of it because he, like, kept driving the truck up and down the hill. Because they kept needing to, like, go between the two places. I mean, he could do other things with it as well. Like, if I remember correctly, he was able to suspend, like, the rocks in the air and then walk on them and stuff.
Yeah. He can just, like, take
Could he
all the
suspend
motion out.
bloodstream in your body?
Ooh.
Not to get too deep into hypotheticals, but could
Would he have to touch, like...
He
your
might have
vein?
to.
Like, you could, like,
Like-
go in a vein and touch it. I think
He
B.
could, but at that point, if he's already cutting you,
Yeah,
like,
he's probably dead anyway.
yeah,
B. Although maybe not in JoJo rules. JoJo's characters do bleed quite a bit without consequence.
they do,
Okay, so I am not the Narantra
especially in
expert
part
here.
5.
Definitely in part 5. That is basically like full-on body horror at certain points.
Yeah,
And part 6, surprisingly, part 6 characters take damage. Anyway, I'm not the Narantra expert here. I'm not anyone's resident Narantra expert.
is this Aerosmith?
Yeah, how do we feel about Aerosmith?
The searching ability is really, really good, but obviously has its own letdowns.
Yeah, like, Diablo sadly did take out Narantra first because of that ability. Because it can... If I remember correctly, what does it detect? Does it detect heat?
It's breath, I think.
It's
I
breath.
think it is breath, yeah.
So,
Carbon dioxide.
yeah, it can detect... Yeah, carbon dioxide, that's it. It detects carbon dioxide levels. Which is pretty powerful because, like, most living things have to breathe. I don't think there's a stand on here that really allows you to not breathe.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a cool stand, though. We should make that. As well, the guns are at least as powerful as Bad Company.
Well, I mean, what, a stand that allows you to not breathe?
No, on Aerosmith, it's guns.
It's
like,
kind of ozone babyish. But,
it's kind of Ozone Babyish. Ozone Babyish forces you to not breathe.
basically.
Like, so Aerosmith's guns are at least as powerful as Bad Company's, and it has the searching ability.
And a bomb.
Does that have a bomb? Oh yeah, it bombs the cars.
Aerosmith has a bomb, yeah.
So I feel... B?
Yeah,
I think so.
B.
D. Okay. Next we have Little Feet. Well, for some reason it's called Little Finger on here, but Little Feet.
Which is essentially Google Dolls from part 6.
Yeah, but I feel like Goo Goo Dolls is a bit better.
Little Feet, like, it shrinks you, like, pretty slowly, doesn't it?
Yeah, Little Feet, like, shrinks you slowly, whereas Goo Goo Dolls, like, pretty much immediately shrinks you, if I remember correctly. Like, JoJolion's standing there, and then
Yeah.
West literally walks around the corner, and she's already tiny. Whereas this is, like, it takes a while. So I feel like D tier.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Because there's another shrinking stand, and it is... I'm going to say it's S tier. Preemptively. I feel very confident about the other shrinking stand.
Really?
Goo Goo Dolls, but Goo Goo Dolls is like a C. And then, like, Little Feet is a little worse. A Little Feet.
A little worse.
Although,
Tiny bit.
if I remember correctly, it does shrink the car. It does put the car in his drink, and then it makes the car big again.
Like an Ant-Man.
Remember, 'cause the guy drinks the car. And then
Oh yeah, and he blows
Yeah.
up.
lands in his stomach and kills him. But I guess Goo Goo Dolls could also do that, so D. Man in the Mirror.
I think Man in the Mirror is really good.
Yeah, really good one.
I think it's like same tier as Hangman, because although I think Hangman's probably a bit more powerful, Man in the Mirror's like mirror ability is a bit more busted in as much as it could literally just isolate you. Like it can even... It chooses what to take in, so it can just not take your stand in to the mirror world.
Yeah,
So on that
I
level,
it's
almost like as powerful as Death 13. It's like a combination of the two almost.
Yeah, I was about to say it's like
Yeah,
cross
yeah.
between Death 13 and
Hangman.
Hangman.
So I think B is solid. They're both.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Man in the Mirror is B tier stand. Okay, so now we have Purple Haze. Is broken.
Very broken.
Very, very broken.
I think it's an A. I don't think it's an
I don't
S.
think it's an
No,
A.
because it hurts the user too much.
Yeah.
Purple Haze Distortion, I think maybe qualifies as an S. But Purple Haze, like... So I have a theory, and this is a theory that I've had ever since I initially read Part 5.
Cool.
Araki was originally planning... Because we all know Araki was originally planning to have Fugo betray the gang and work for the boss suit at the end.
Yeah.
And I think it was originally going to be the fight that ended up being Chocolata's fight. And I think...
Oh.
Green Day.
Because they're very similar in terms of power. In terms
Yeah.
of being poison stands. But, and here's where my theory really gets wild, I think that Spice Girl was originally going to be the thing that went against it, so it's going to be Spice Girl versus Fugo.
That would have been
With
so
Page
cool.
Muda, because Spice Girl's ability directly works as a counter to Fugo's, because she could basically soften the capsules, and then Fugo couldn't do shit, because they wouldn't be able to break.
Hmm.
Anyway, yeah. Purple Haze is a solid A stand because it can kill you very fast if the capsules break. It just has to break them near you, and it has to be able to break them with a punch. So if it's one of the stands that like prevents you from getting a punch in, Purple Haze is useless. But otherwise, it's pretty powerful. Also, I don't know if it's just a Fugo thing, but it is quite hard to control, which also kind of prevents it from going into S.
Yeah.
It is the sledgehammer stand. Fugo might be fucked, but so are you. Okay, so Mr. President, how are we feeling about Mr. President?
The turtle tortoise thing.
This is the turtle.
I think it's an E.
E.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because it has no.
It can still take in effects from the outside world because it still had the aging thing with Grateful Dead.
Yeah, so it doesn't even offer that much protection.
No.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah. I'm happy with E. Because we do have the Ghost Room later on, and I feel like the Ghost Room is a little bit better. But then you also have the fact that this is portable. It's E, it's terrible at combat, but it is pretty good in other respects. So now we have Beach Boy.
I
think it's pretty bad.
Very bad.
said that Pesci was the stronger brother, but I really don't think he was. Beach Boy is kind of terrible. I'm feeling a D on this.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Because like it can reach your heart and can rip your heart out, but you could just go up to Pesci and punch him. However, his brother is really what made Beach Boy terrifying, because the combination of the two stands is potent to say the least. How do you feel about Grateful Dead?
I think it's really good.
So do I. But it is kind of limited.
Yeah.
In terms of the ice cube stuff. The ice cubes kind of screw you up.
Basically.
And even beyond that, like, even without the ice cubes and like the temperature thing and like how they target it, so only like so Trish wouldn't be affected because like different body heat in like it can age you very fast if it's very close to you, and it does have a punchy ghost form, so it is pretty powerful, but I don't think it's quite as powerful. How are we feeling this? Are we feeling a C, or are we feeling a B, or what?
I'm feeling a B, I think.
I'd say C.
C? I'm kind of feeling a C as well. I feel like
I'd just say it's kind of detrimental to the user as well, so...
Yeah, because Thingy, Prosciutto ages himself at one point, but he does that intentionally, and then is able to unage himself. I don't know, I feel like C. I don't think it's quite as good as some of the stands in B, like Black Sabbath or Highway Star, or anything like that.
Oh, okay. Yep. Right then, C sounds good. Why not?
Babyface is weird.
I'm still not quite sure how it works. Like,
so,
with
if I remember correctly,
it gets some parents and then makes this little baby.
Yeah. And then the baby grows in power and is like remote controlled and also sentient. So it kind of acts like well, but listens to the user.
It's so strange.
The user has a laptop that can control it, and it also turns things into cubes.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, it has developmental ability, and if this babyface dies, it doesn't hurt the user and they can just make another babyface. Like, the only reason it lost was because Giorno tracked the user with the bike.
Yeah.
So it doesn't hurt the user, which is pretty big. And you can make pretty much as many of them as you want without little consequence. And it can develop. So if Giorno hadn't stopped it, then it would have become much more powerful. I feel like B is pretty fair.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay. White Album. How do we feel about White Album?
I think it's an A.
We are including White Ice in this as well.
I haven't got a clue what that is.
So if I remember correctly, so White Album is the suit, right? White Album is the suit of ice. And then White Ice is like the ability where it made the little air pockets that like reflected like any shots to the little hole in the back of the neck, the breathing hole.
Okay,
Oh yeah, that one.
I wouldn't consider those as like different stands.
I think he does say like it's a different ability. He says like it's white albums, white ice. But I think
Oh, so
combined,
like
so he
Killer
can,
Queen's third bomb.
he can freeze stuff,
Like,
so it's like already better than Horus. He can freeze stuff.
Oh yeah.
Very fast. He can move very fast. He is pretty much invulnerable. And you've got white ice. Yeah, I think A. He basically only got beat by like happening to have like a pole that was sharp enough behind him.
Mhm.
Okay, so the stand that no one seems to know how it works. King Crimson, how do we feel?
I think it's either an A or an S. Even though I have no idea how it works, I think it's good.
How does this stand work? Instant F, no one knows. Okay, so we are including Epitaph in this, so it's not only the ability to skip time 15 seconds, but the ability to see 15 seconds into the future. I believe it's 15
Yep.
seconds.
Yeah,
It's
then I would
something
say
like that.
S.
Because here's the thing that I always think about. So, in a potential Diavolo versus Dio matchup, if you stop time, is that outside of the skipped time?
I think this is too complicated to ever arrive at an answer for.
Yeah, just like Diavolo himself, we will never reach the truth. I'm happy with S. I think it's quite strong.
I feel like, honestly, if you put in Diavolo in S, you got to put Star Platinum in the world in there as well.
That's the thing. I do think it is like slightly weaker than the world because the actions still happen in that 15 seconds. So like I always think back to the Metallica versus King Crimson fight, wherein like Doppio, even though he can see the future, knows that he's going to get hit and can't do anything about it. And even if he could skip time, from what I understand, Diavolo, when he skips time, is outside of time. So like, if someone were to shoot a gun at Diavolo during skip time, the bullets would fly past him. But if he was to shoot a gun at someone else during skip time, it would hit them. So during those 15 seconds, he's basically invulnerable. And everyone else forgets what they were doing. And everyone else can get hurt. But those 15 seconds still happen, so even if Diavolo can predict what's going to happen, like Bruno was able to get a hit on him, you know, during the initial fight, using the turtle and the button. So, you know, it is precognition. It's not like it doesn't give him omniscience. You can still miss stuff in the precognition.
Yeah.
S or A, how are we feeling?
Very high A, I would say then.
I'm going to say very high A also. I don't think it's quite on the level of, like, these.
I think I'm at that, so.
Yeah. Clash.
Clash is really good.
Clash is really good. Talking Head is terrible, but Clash is quite good. It's fast. It can travel between water pretty instantly, so I think it's already better than something like Red Hot Chili Pepper because it doesn't, like, it works over distance. And its power
it's better than
equal.
something like Hanged Man.
Oh, definitely. I think it's a solid A tier.
Yeah, yeah.
Low A tier, but it can teleport. It can get into the water in someone's mouth. Can it get into
In your
people's
tears?
bloodstream? Tears, yeah.
Of course, the bloodstream question's got to get asked at some point.
Every time. It's like the Ant-Man Thanos thing. It's like, can it get into people's bloodstream?
Can Clash go into my ass?
Can Clash kill Thanos? That's what makes an A tier. Can it kill Thanos? Talking Head is terrible.
Yeah,
So,
it's garbage.
it makes it's not like it controls what you say, it just makes you say the opposite of what you mean. So the minute you figure out its ability, you can just say the opposite of what you mean, and it will counteract it entirely. Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm not being attacked by a stand right now.
I am not
like-
being attacked. Hey guys.
And it's
King
not
Crimson
making me
is
say the
not
opposite of what I
dead.
want to say.
Hey guys, I'm definitely not being attacked by a stand called Silent Arm right now.
Wait.
Basically just the opposite base stand. Okay. Notorious B.I.G.
I'm being attacked by a stand that is not Talking Head.
It is another stand. Do not attack it.
Notorious B.I.G. I think is so... It kills the user essentially.
That's the thing, is it's
But
so powerful.
It's also like completely invincible. So I think it's
kinda
probably a
secretly
C.
wish that like when the Made in Heaven fight happened, you just had like Notorious B.I.G. just like come flying, and that's how that would be the ass pull that they win. It'd be like fast, fly over, flies over to Florida, because it gets caught in the ocean. Because it works based on detecting speed. So if you find something that moves faster than it, it will immediately go to that. This is a tough one to write because it does kill the user.
Yeah, I think it's probably a D. Because it's really like good, but it does kill the user.
It is the one that kills the user that is powerful enough to like avoid the throws of F tier.
Yeah, basically.
But it can be quite easily defeated if you just find something very fast. Like the large Hadron Collider, and it would be defeated easily.
Just put it in your Hadron Collider.
just get your
We've all got one of those.
Collider, put it in. You could just go to a theme park and it'd be defeated, you know?
Yeah.
So like the hedgehog.
And because there is no user to control it, like it is like it's susceptible to those attacks very easily.
Yeah.
Spice Girl is decent. It's really decent.
But she never uses it.
She uses it like once in part 5. She is.
Well, she uses it in the Notorious B.I.G. fight. She would
And
have used it in the hypothetical Fugo fight. And I think she used it once or twice in the Diablo fight, if I remember correctly.
I can't remember.
But it is like very, very underutilized.
I guess C then, maybe?
See, it turns... Because working off like hypothetical, like what if it were used more, it can turn stuff like into softness. It's like while it could disable something like Purple Haze, I don't know. And it could like, if Star Platinum were punching, you could turn Star Platinum's fist to jelly. But
yeah, but
its actual
time would probably be stopped.
And it's basically more a defensive stand than anything. Metallica.
Really, really cool. A tier, I'd say.
It's so good.
It's so good. We all know that Risotto should have won that fight.
Honestly.
It is such like it's a nail that he didn't. He deserved better. I think it's a really strong A tier. I mean, it can get in your bloodstream. It can cloak Risotto. It can cloak other things too, presumably, if it used like the iron in like rocks and stuff, and like the refraction of light. It can reattach limbs. I mean, yeah, it's pretty insane. Definitely a solid A tier candidate. Okay. So this is the natural resource worker stand. So if you remember like Polnareff's little explanation where he's like, oh yeah, so like this is the origin of stands. And there was this meteor, and then these natural resource workers found it, and then lightning shot from his hands. That is the stand. It's the lightning that shot from the natural resource workers' hands.
How are we meant to rank this?
It's lightning. So I feel like it's implicitly kind of like a D tier. Like, lightning could hurt you.
Yeah.
It's basically
it's just
like
a spark.
It's like unlimited power. The stand.
Palpatine and the JoJo's.
JoJo Palpatine. Just like Dio, he keeps coming back.
Green Day's really good.
It's not really cool. You might think initially, because you've got the whole height thing. So if you just like were able to keep ascending, you'd be fine. You know,
okay, but
just bring a ladder with you.
What if you just hid at the top of a ladder?
If someone like the Metal Gear Solid 3 ladder, you put Green Day on the Metal Gear Solid 3 ladder, like the 10-minute long climb, You'd be screwed. But then you've also got to count in the fact that Chocolata like takes off parts of his limbs and like manages to quell the bleeding with Green Day, and then can reattach the limbs later when he cuts himself up. But it isn't a Punch Ghost, as far as I'm aware. It just does the poison thing. I feel like it's basically like a worse Purple Haze. B? Or A?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, B. It's the thing, like, B is like the most predominant tier right now, but as we get into part 7, and to an extent part 8, these tiers are really going to fill up. Oh, the Boom Broom family. Oh. Oasis.
Oh my god, I forgot about them.
Can we have a tier just called Tomb of the Boom?
Yes.
Full of that. Okay, Oasis. Oasis is, sure is something.
Sure is.
Best dog.
I think it's really good.
No.
It's really, really good. So it can dig through tunnels. It can it did the thing where when Bruno was fighting it launched up stuff into the air and then made it come back down as solids.
Yeah, because it liquefies the ground.
It liquefies things. So it liquefied the concrete and then turned it back to concrete. Using convection and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I feel A on this.
I think it's an A as well. I think
Yeah,
it's really
yeah.
good.
It moves really fast as well. It's a suit. We love you, Sacco. Okay, now we're into busted territory. Silver Chariot Requiem.
It's difficult, honestly.
Freaky Friday stand.
I think it could be an S, but also it's just impossible to control. It swaps the body of the user
Into a turtle.
into a turtle. So worst case scenario, I guess. But
yeah, it's like Dragon's Dream where it's unbiased.
You gone straight from putting an S to an F.
it's like Dragon's Dream where it's unbiased, so it can kind of go against the user, but at the same time it is really powerful.
Yeah.
You kill it by destroying the little sunlight thing, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So it's decently easy to kill. It swaps people, but for seemingly no reason. I don't know. I feel like it has the potential to be an S, but it doesn't really have a point. It just does.
It's to just stop people from getting the arrow.
Yeah, since the users can't control it. I don't know, I still feel an S on it though. Kind of because there's another stand that I want to talk about that I feel like is an S and is very similar in terms of it is unbiased and prevents people from doing things.
Okay.
Should we say S then?
A maybe? Cause it's not...
I think it's an A.
A. We're gonna say A, we're gonna compromise, because it is a very difficult one.
Yeah.
It doesn't kill
Okay.
or anything like that. The body swapping can be useful. When you swap bodies, your soul stays the same, so it keeps the stand. But also, if I remember correctly, so after a while of having the body swap, yeah, because it has the power to end the world. Because after a while of having the body swap, you turn into the little creature things. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Your body starts to evolve, and you turn into the little I can't remember what they were. Were they metal things? But after a while, you stop having your body being swapped, and you turn into something new, a new evolution of humanity. So we don't really know the limits of its power because they managed to defeat it before Jonah and the gang turned into those things. But it could bring about a new evolution of humanity and also end the world.
Yeah.
But it isn't controlled by the user. We'll keep it NA. It's very powerful.
Yeah, complete alteration of all life. That's what it's listed as it.
Okay. That is pretty busted, but... Are we gonna put an A or S?
Should we say A then?
We'll say A, because it can be killed pretty easily. You just have to destroy the little light thing. God Experience Requiem, I don't think we need to discuss this.
It's
No.
an S.
It goes
It's another one where I have absolutely no idea what it does in practice.
So I think it's
But
basically
it's an
how I
S.
always understood it. It's like the reverse King Crimson. So whereas King Crimson erases the action but keeps the result, Goal Experience Requiem erases the result but keeps the action.
Oh, okay. So like, you can do something and it'll have like absolutely no consequence.
Yeah, which is where the infinite death loop thing comes from, because Diablo is always having the effect of the death. It's always having the action of dying, but never the result where he dies. So it just loops over.
Oh.
That's why I understand it, because when he kills with Goal Experience Requiem, he essentially is removing the result of the actual death, so it's just repeating the action over and over. And it also essentially counteracts any stand ability, because you could, like any of these stands, you know, you could do like, oh, Heaven's Door's like, oh, I wanna rewrite you to say I don't wanna do this fight. Well, you can do that action, but Goal Experience Requiem is gonna erase the results, so it's not gonna do anything. Any of these stands, it basically just says no you. Rolling Stone. It kills you. It basically follows you
The
around
tagline.
and kills you. Are you feeling an F on this?
Yeah.
I mean, you have to want to die in order. You have to touch it, but it kind of coerces you into touching it. Like when
I think
Mister, it tries to
it's like a
itself on
prediction.
Mister. It kind of fits
I think
into,
it's
the
more
top
like
category.
It's like a euthanasia type deal instead of
It's
an actually killing
it's the
you.
euthanasia coaster stand.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you're on to Purple Haze Feedback. Okay, so now we have Dolly Dagger. So this reflects 70% of the damage that was taken by the user onto the person that hit them, and the user takes 30%.
It's really bad.
Yeah, it's
Honestly,
kind of terrible.
it's not good.
It's really, really not good. Are we thinking E or D for this?
I'd say it's D, because it's got like some
It still reflects
ability.
70% of the damage.
Yeah,
I think
it's
this
not
canonically
awful.
kills the user of Craftwork, so...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
And it's power scaling wise, it's more powerful than Craftwork. So this is Manic Depression. This just makes drugs. That's what it does. It makes
Great.
all of the drugs in Part 5, you know, the heroin that kid at the start was on, it's all a stand. It's not very good for combat. It makes drugs. So this is
Sounds pretty bad.
Nightbird Flying, which basically it gives you a drug addiction. That's what it does. It gives you the effects of drug addiction.
That's right. Sorry.
This is as good as Gold Experience Requiem, obviously.
Yeah,
I think this is pretty
right.
definitely
Why would you
FGF.
need a stand
It's
when
almost as good as
society
Poochie's
can
bad.
do it?
What?
Yes, this is the we live in a society. If every Joker represents the drug use of the era, then I think this is Joker 2019. Because we live in a society. Okay, so this is all on the Watchtower. So it essentially spies on someone and gives the reports of that espionage back in the form of like a weird circus act. It's kind of like Sex Pistols in the sense that it has a personality, and it like does this whole like trapeze stuff. It's decent. I feel like it's like a D or an E, because it can be useful, but it has no combat capabilities basically. So we feeling an E on that or a D? D, I think.
D?
Sure. Okay, so this is Voodoo Child. So basically makes lips that like it can reveal someone's deepest, darkest secrets to them. It kind of works like the lock, but a bit better.
Yeah.
And in thinking that it's the lock, but a bit better, I think D.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like the lock and maybe like Moody Blues.
Yeah, it's kind of like, because it can like relay information that was also like told near it. So
Yeah.
It's kind of like a mix between like Moody Blues, the lock, and also Echoes Act 1.
Yeah.
So you can kind of do the convincing thing, like stop, 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 or whatever.
Yeah.
So then you have Rainy Day Dream Away, which basically sets a certain emotion for someone. So like, if you're like feeling happy, it can make you like stay happy, or similarly, if you're feeling at unease or sad or whatever, it can make you stay sad. To like really strong effect.
Maybe like COD then?
C, maybe?
I think it's probably like a D. But I
Hmm.
think if we're being generous, C is pretty okay.
Yeah, we'll go C then.
Yeah, C. Would be nice. Because otherwise, I feel like I'm being a bit too mean to Purple Haze feedback. Like, every stand here
I
is
mean, they
D
do
and
seem
E.
pretty weak so far.
Yeah,
I
it's
know
like
Purple Haze Distortion hasn't been mentioned yet, so
this is
it's coming.
the counterpoint is Purple Haze Distortion. So
Do we have Purple Haze in A?
we have Purple Haze in A.
I-
Ergo, I feel like
I
Purple Haze
think that
Distortion.
probably means
Although if I'm looking
maybe
at
an
this,
S.
that is Weather Report.
Oh,
I don't know if like I downloaded this list from a video I found online, which I'll give credit in the description and stuff. So I don't know if this has just been an error. But that is definitely Weather Report. I'm looking at it, and that is Weather Report. And I don't see Weather Report
oh no.
in and amongst the Part 6 stands. So I'm going
Okay.
to assume that Purple Haze Distortion was included in the original Purple Haze.
Should we move it up to an S then?
Yeah, because Purple Haze Distortion essentially just like is Purple Haze but more powerful and more in control.
Yeah, and it can like cure viruses, apparently.
Yeah, it can like
From
kill
from
other
what I just
viruses.
read on the wiki.
We need that right now. We really need that.
Yeah.
Right now.
Oh, we need
yeah, I
Purple
don't see
Haze
Weather
cure
Report on here.
COVID, yeah.
So I'm going to move up an S, and next A tier we'll just fill in there. Okay, so now we have Weather. We'll start with Stone Free and we'll work through chronologically. So part 6.
Okay.
My favourite part currently, the part 8 is quickly catching up if it maintains the quality. Stone Free, I think a lot of people think that Stone Free is quite weak, but I'm
I think it's quite weak.
I'm here to
Oh.
argue that it is perhaps the most busted main JoJo stand, excluding Tusk Act 4 and Gold Experience Requiem. So,
I think that is insane.
let me make my case. So, not only do you have
Go on.
Punch Ghost, it can do order, but it can also A, heal the wounds of allies, it can stitch them up. It's not nearly as potent as Gold Experience Requiem, not Gold Experience or Crazy Diamond in that respect, but it can heal people. It can allow JoJolion to unwind, which can be used as a rope, as a binding function if she needs to tie anyone up. It can reach objects that are quite a distant way away, so when she's in the grated thing, she like breaks up her punches, so she could like make multiple hands if she wanted to, and use them all to punch. She just happens to have Stonefree take that form. Stonefree could have like 20 arms if she wanted, and they'd just be less powerful. She can use the Mobius strip thing to reflect damage. She can make barriers, which can not only detect like things that are coming at them. So in the Sky High fight, when she's coming down in a helicopter, she creates barriers which detect the rods. She can detect like even Lip Biscuit. She can do all this stuff and like more, and she can do it at the same time by unraveling herself in different ways. She can like hear people. If she sends out her like her thing, she can like not only send messages across her string but also receive them back.
Yeah.
The utility alone, I think, makes it. It's not anything above A. But
I would argue that it is like a B or a C.
Really?
Yeah,
Make your case,
because
then. Go for it.
even if there are like a ton of things she can do with it, they're all pretty like. Just because she has the power of a punch ghost, and Oh Lonesome Me, it's not great.
But I think it's like way more versatile than something like Oh Lonesome Me. And she's like the combat knife, not the combat knife.
I suppose, but I don't think there's any real advantage over any other over something like the Hand or another punch ghost.
I think she'd be able to beat a lot of people in A tier. I don't know. Should we compromise and do B?
Yeah, let's do B.
Let's do B then, yeah.
One says C, one says A, we'll compromise. That's
Yeah.
literally the least. Goo Goo Dolls is a better thingy.
Little Feet.
So whatever we put Little Feet in, we'll put this a tier higher, I think.
Basically.
Yep. That's fair.
C. It's just a better Little Feet. Manhattan Transfer is terrible. So we see it outside of the dream, so it is not like it works the same inside the dream and outside the dream, which essentially it hovers and allows like a tracking thing for the sniper. So if you weren't the world's best sniper, which JoJolion luckily is, this is utterly useless, and this is only useful because JoJolion is like an amazing sniper.
Yeah.
I'll go E. White Snake is S easily.
Oh, it's so good.
It's so good. So not only can it take your memories and take your stand, but we also see Peach using it to take other things, like when he takes his eyesight out during the heavy weather fight, and when he takes he uses like a music disc, and he turns the corpse of one of the guys into like a music player, and then he plays it, and that's where the "This is a Revelation" panel comes from. And it can do the dream thing. Yeah, S. I think it's an easy S.
Yeah.
Okay, now Highway to Hell. I don't think we need to really discuss this one. I think that's an easy S. It kills you.
Oh, okay. I can't.
This is damage reflection one where anytime you hurt yourself, someone else gets hurt too. So
okay.
He tries to drown himself to kill Hermes, and tries to electrocute himself and stuff. And any damage that happens to him will happen to someone else in the same way.
Okay. I don't remember that arc at all. I haven't read Part 6 in a while.
You have to die to use it, basically.
Yeah.
F.
Doesn't sound great.
He drowns himself in the toilet at one point, because he's suicidal. He drowns himself in the toilet at one point, and that drowns Hermes too. So in order to kill someone, you basically have to die, and even then you can only kill one person with it. Burning down the house.
Yeah,
How do we talk about burning down the house? Is it better or worse than Coco Jumbo? Is basically the question. Because we put Mr. President in E. So is it better or worse than Mr. President?
I think it's better than Mr. President.
So you have basically how it works is it's a ghost room, but it's not just one place. So any ghost rooms, any rooms that were there and are not there anymore, or any locations that were there or not there anymore, you can use. So it doesn't have to be just this one room in the jail. And any items that were in that room can be used, but only by Emporio. So Emporio has the laptop, he has the gun, and he can use them, but the gun wouldn't hurt anyone else. But the laptop works, but only Emporio can use those things. So I think that implicitly gives it a bit more usage. Because Coco Jumbo did have stuff in it, like Mr. President, the room, had the TV that was playing Captain Tsubasa, and it had the drinks and stuff, but it didn't have any offensive capabilities, whereas Burning Down the House really could.
Yeah.
And it basically sticks with Emporio, and you can move it a lot more easily than the turtle, which you can just get lost. I think D.
Yeah, I think it's a D. Yeah.
Kiss is busted. Kiss is really, really broken. The ability itself, not so much. I think the ability is a solid B tier ability, but when you read the stand stats, Kiss is really powerful.
Really?
I think she's got an S in pretty much every category.
Really?
Yeah. And I think the ability itself is really good. So you can duplicate things and then remove them.
The stickers.
Yeah, the stickers. Which can damage her sometimes, but it's not only used really inventively, but just has enough versatility. Yeah, I think we can make a case for A tier, especially with the stand stats being really busted. She's really fast apparently.
Yeah.
A tier. Okay, so Foo Fighters. So Foo Fighters is not only the sentient plankton, but has the ability to turn into the little car thing and can move really fast in water.
Yeah.
And it also has the little finger guns. I think Foo Fighters is really good.
Yeah, I love it. I'd say A.
I'd say A. Because you have the finger guns, you have the ability to... she can cut herself in half and still live, basically, because of the nature of the plankton. Can inhabit other people's bodies. I don't think we see Foo Fighters' full potential, but I think the potential is there. Yeah, A.
Yeah, she's great.
The only downside, though, is that you need, the water to live.
Yeah.
Which is easily solved by the water bottle, but... it is a bit of a hamper.
No, I don't. I don't think Foo Fighters is on the level of any of the other stands in A.
Are we gonna say B then? Because of the water limit?
Yeah, I guess so then.
Yeah. I love you, Foo. You're one of the best characters. Like, I want to give it S in terms of like the stand is the character, so.
Yeah.
But no, sadly, B. Okay, now we're gonna do weather reports. So this is including heavy weather. So I don't
Oh,
think
the
there's much to
snail one.
So that's the
Oh
snail.
yeah, straight up
So
there.
you think you're a snail, but you think you're a snail so hard that you turn into a snail. But then even without that, weather report's ability is busted enough. Like, he literally makes poison frogs fall from the sky that kill everyone. It is one of the few stands that is like world-ending tier.
Yeah.
It definitely deserves S. Okay, so now we have Marilyn Manson.
God, what does Marilyn Manson
So Marilyn
do?
Manson is the debt collector stand. So if you do a bargain, if you do like a deal, so like in the fight, it's like we're playing catch, and I bet
Oh, that one. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, so
that we'll get 100 catches.
It's another derby type stand.
Basically, except if you lose, whatever you owe in the debt. So like, if you say I'm gonna bet $100 that we're gonna win this bet, and then
It's
you don't
gonna
win
take it by any
it's gonna
means
take
necessary.
like the $100 by any force. So that even if it's like removing your limbs and selling them on the black market, it'll do that.
Oh shit.
So it works
Fair
as a punch
enough.
ghost, and it has like that power. So I think it's a bit better than the other gambling stands.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I think C, because it literally rips out Hermes' like liver, I think.
Jeez.
And we'll track you, and we'll collect that debt no matter what, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's not even like a you've lost in your heart thing. Like if you lose, it will get that money no matter what. Like the little, I don't know if you can see it here, the little face thing. That's like it's like money counter. So
Yeah.
Jumping Jack Flash. This is the one that like removes the gravity from a situation. So if it touches you, anything in the area like loses gravity.
Does it
Classic
remove the
stand
atmosphere
behind
as well, or was that a different stand?
What? Sorry.
Did it remove the atmosphere as well, or was that a
it
different
removed the
stand?
atmosphere, yeah. It was able to remove the atmosphere, which so then Weather Report made like the little spacesuits. So I think it's pretty powerful because it could basically just it's like Ozone Baby almost, where it could deoxygenate a room.
Yeah.
So I think that's automatically kind of puts it in B.
I think so.
If you think about other BT
Yeah.
stands like Man in the Mirror, Kraftwerk, I think it fits amongst those.
Definitely.
Okay. Limp Bizkit. What do we think about Limp Bizkit?
Really?
Okay, so it not only creates zombies, but it creates invisible zombies that are literally undetectable. And the user
It
kills
is
after
really
death.
cool.
And literally anything the user kills can turn into a zombie. Even like stuffed alligators can turn into zombies.
God.
And you can't tell where they're coming from. And they are basically unkillable. How are we feeling?
A tier, I'd say.
I'd
Not
say
quite
A.
S.
It's not quite
I'd say
it's not
A
quite
as
on the
well.
level. But it's I think it's a very high A tier. So Diver Down. Diver Down has two abilities. So it not only has the the rearranging things, so it can go inside something and rearrange it from the inside, which is its main one, but it also has the hit permanence, which is sort of like Kraftwerk but a bit different. How are we feeling about this? So
But I mean, it's nothing really special. I'd say probably B, C.
I'd say B.
B, I think it's a solid candidate for B tier, because it has those two abilities and it can rearrange things and it works as a punch ghost. And I think the rearrange things is really cool because it can take the hit off someone. Like if someone gets hit and it's fatal, you can redirect that hit, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So I think that alone kind of puts it in B tier. Survivor.
All the way down.
Tier. It's F. It's very clearly F.
Sucks.
It really sucks. Dio himself called it the worst stand, and whilst I don't think it's the worst stand,
It's
not.
pretty bad.
Planet Waves. So this is the one that causes meteors to fall from the sky at you. I love this
Yeah.
fight because it's the physical combat in it is so cool. I can't wait to see it animated. How are you feeling about it? So it causes meteors to fall down at your precise location, but they won't ever hit the user, they'll just hit the enemy.
Maybe B then?
I think B is fair. A lot of Part 6 stands are B tier. But I think this one really is deserved. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so Dragon's Dream.
That's an F.
Is it an F though?
Yep.
Because in the hands of the right user, it can be kind of powerful. Because whilst it is unbiased, only the user knows how it works, right? At least initially. So if the user has this like amazing knowledge of Feng Shui, which the user did have, and your opponent doesn't, they are screwed. Even if it is unbiased, they are screwed. So I think it's at least E.
Yeah, should we say E then?
Because it can be used for combat abilities and it isn't going to inherently kill you.
Okay, fine, E.
Okay. Yo-Yo Ma.
Okay, that's an F.
Yo-Yo Ma qualifies for an F much more.
Yeah.
But it doesn't hurt the user. Like, Yo-Yo Ma can take any beating at once and it will not hurt the user. So I think inherently... I don't know.
Just sucks. It's one of my worst. It's one of my least favorite arcs.
I love the arc. I really like the arc. I don't know, I'd rather put Dragon's Dream in F.
Um,
Oops.
are you moving the tier list?
I accidentally moved it. Because it... So if I remember correctly, it plays nice with you and pretends to help you. So that it can, like, secretly poison you with its spit.
It's like, kind of, just melting you over time with
Yeah.
its saliva.
But if you hurt it, it can't be killed by hurting it. They only defeat it by making it think it was a frog. Because Diver Down put a frog's brain inside it.
Yeah.
So I think so it has its own like independence and sentience, and it doesn't hurt the user. So I think that's at least E.
Yeah, maybe.
E.
Maybe I'm just thinking of the arc.
I like the arc. Okay.
This is green grass of home now.
This is green ass of home. When I was talking about the shrinking stand that I think is an S, this is the one I was
Really?
talking about. So think about it. So it has like an infinite proportion to shrink you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like the closer and closer you get to it, the more and more you'll shrink. So eventually, if you got close enough to it, you would just shrink so hard that you would like go subatomic. You can't reach it unless the user wants you to reach it. The only way that JoJolion won was because the baby was like nice to her. So if it was in the hands of someone other than like the green baby, it would be super powerful because you could basically say no one can reach me. So it's like girl level of like you can't hurt me.
Yeah.
And it will kill you if you try.
I think it's an A, because like it doesn't really have any like offensive.
No, but like it literally can't be killed, and it can kill you if you try. Like if Star Planet wanted to Aurora shit, you couldn't because he would just shrink.
Yeah.
If someone tried to fire a gun at it, the bullet would shrink so much that it wouldn't ever hurt it because it would go.
So you just leave it alone. You just let the green baby do its thing.
Exactly, which means it can't be killed.
It doesn't do anything either.
Okay, maybe like a really low S, high A.
I think it's like should we put it like where the Kenny G was?
Yeah, put it there.
This is like it counts technically.
A little bit.
Okay, so this is the hot water stand. So this is so when Poochie is fighting Foo Fighters, which is one of my favorite fights. I think that's also a top 3 fight for me. He throws the disc, like the stand disc of this really hot water stand at, I think it's at Foo, or at one part of Foo. And essentially it's just really hot water, and it burned Foo.
Yeah.
It's just hot water.
So it's just like you
It's
gain
just
the
like a
power.
tap.
It's
You
literally
gain the
just
power
warm
of being a
water.
kettle.
Kettle.
I think even though it doesn't directly hurt the user, I think it is an F just because like who would need this? And it might actually hurt the user because it's just hot water. It's F. Okay, so now we have Jailhouse Lock. Jailhouse
Not
Lock is
great.
actually really scary.
It is pretty terrifying, but
So you can only remember 3 things. past when the
Yeah.
ability was activated, and from what I understand, it works basically in the area of the building that you're in. So as long as you're in that building, you won't remember. And so basically you can't get out of the building because you can't remember things.
Yeah.
And it works on anyone who has, literally, if you have the intent to try and escape the building or leave the building, it works on you. Literally, if you just think about it, it's like thought crime. I think it's pretty powerful. I think...
Yeah, like A?
A? B?
I'd say it's a B.
I'm going to say it's a B as well, because it doesn't have any offensive capabilities other than that. It just kind of hopes that you'll, like, be so forgetful that you'll die. Or at least get trapped, which is what the user, Mew Mew, seems to kind of roll out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now we're out of the jail and into the Dio's kids. I love these
Yay.
funky little guys. So we have Bohemian Rhapsody at first.
Oh, this is Bohemian Rhapsody is really good.
It is really good. I love this fight. Is it an S? Is it an A?
I think it's an A.
I think it's an A. It is
Not
one,
quite
I think,
S.
here.
Should we say high A? Oh,
High
yeah,
A,
that.
I think it's high A. Because, like, the user can't really control it that much. And, like, if you simply, like, weather report, it didn't really affect weather report because he just didn't believe in any of it. And, actually thinking about it, the way it was defeated was kind of terrible. Because they basically just said, like, I have Mr. Defeats Everything Man. Like, they basically just created a thing that would kill everything. B, maybe?
Yeah?
Because it can be, like, really... If you just think about it hard enough, you can overcome it. And just say, like,
Yeah.
Mr. I want Ungolo to die, man. And then the stand's just gone. Yeah. Okay, so Sky High. Everyone's favourite superhero eugenics movie. This is the rods. And it's like, they move really fast and you can control them. So it's kind of like a better Emperor, almost.
Yeah.
Because you can, there's tons of them and they're invisible, and you can control them. I don't remember much about this fight, to be honest.
Neither do I.
So it could hurt you, it could, like, affect the blood pressure in your bloodstream, I think.
Mm.
And the rods are invisible and really fast, because, like, when JoJolion was in the helicopter and it gets knocked down, like, you literally couldn't see the rods, and she could only sense them using her, like, her string barrier. I feel like it's a solid C tier. I don't think it's, like, it's great, but it's not terrible either.
Yeah, let's chuck it in the middle.
Just chuck it in the middle. Don't care enough about it. I do love
Pretty much.
Rikiel. I love Rikiel's character, but
Where it's like cow print.
yes, it's Billie Eilish. Okay, so now we have Underworld. Underworld is terrifying. So this is not Ungolo. This is Versace's
Donatello
stand.
Versace.
Donatello Versace, also known as Versus.
Donatello versus.
I hate Donatello Versus. The worst thing is I've seen that in like some fan communities and stuff use Versus, like because I think the JoJo's Colored Adventure translation uses Versus, so everyone's like, ah yes, Donatello Versus, and I want to die every time. I think Underworld is clearly like an A tier. So it brings things that were dead in the ground back to life, like using the memory of the ground. So you could like bring back anything basically. Like you could bring back the dead, you could bring back any terrible incident you want to think of. You could bring back like, Vietnam in full and just have it reenact itself. Because like things you bring back reenact as they were originally were because it's the Earth's memory. So you can't really control them, but you can put someone into a terrible situation. You could just basically like every time you want to kill someone, just put them into like Hiroshima and they die.
Oh my god!
It is really terrifying when you think about it.
Oh my god! Yeah.
High A, low S, maybe?
Yeah. You could just do Made in Heaven art every time you want to kill someone. Like,
Oh my god.
Are we on the Poochie stuff? Or have we done like, is this Sea Moon?
This is Sea Moon. Sea Moon's still great. I don't think it's as great as Made in Heaven or Whitesnake though.
No, it's not.
I think it's A tier. Because it can control gravity, and gravity basically pulls around Poochie.
Yeah.
So
Made in Heaven is an S
A.
though.
I don't think we need to talk about
A
in
makes
Heaven.
sense. No,
Yep, straight to the
it
top.
just ends the world. That's all it
just ends
does.
the world. It just kills everyone. But it's also infinitely fast and infinitely strong and all that.
Yeah.
Exponential growth. And then yeah, Sea Moon, it just like the gravity thing is great and it's really powerful. And if I remember correctly, like you can if Sea Moon punches someone, it flips them inside out.
Yeah.
So that's really powerful, but it's not quite S tier.
No.
So now we're on to Johnny and Gyro's Gay Adventure,
Best part.
Steel Bull Run.
This
Love
is
this
Hey
part.
Ya, the first one.
Okay, but we've got the pain to go through here, and then this is pain though. So this is Hey Ya.
They're all going in like D tier.
Yeah.
It does nothing. It cheers him on.
Heart is going entirely in D tier, except for Tusk. So what do we think about Hey Ya? Like, are we considering that it? Because I've seen different interpretations on what it actually does. Some people say that it just encourages Poco Loco. I've seen other people say that it predicts the future and tells Poco Loco the future.
I think it's just a glorified cheerleader.
And I've seen other people that say it literally changes the future to work in Poco Loco's advantage. Like it's like a good luck stand.
Yeah.
What do you think it is?
I think it's a D.
Yeah, definitely.
We don't know what it does, but
Yeah.
it helps to win the Silver Run race.
If all it does is like cheer you on, it's going in E. But like, if it actually does change stuff, I'd say it's a D.
I mean, I don't think it changes stuff, but I think it knew, because like, whenever something bad was going to happen,
Yeah.
Poco would warn him about it, and it'd be like, hey, do this, and you'll succeed. So I think it knew, I just don't think it, like, changed things either.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Fuck off.
2 moves to 3.
It's not actually an F, but I so badly want to put it in F. C.
Boom Boom family.
Packy writing this art to be like, I made a boom boom. Oh, hate it. It's all one stand, but I think all three of them are like all three of the parts of the stand are bad. Oh, Lonesome Me. It's also an E.
It's a rope.
It's a rope, and you can move along the rope.
It's
Couldn't escape his execution using that though. Okay, Boku no Rhythm Ro Kitekure. I don't know.
Chitekure!
This is the bomb one, so it explodes things if you like. If you're holding something and you let go of it, it explodes things. It's like the little pins, and if you let go of the pins, they blow up.
Yeah.
Oh, that one was pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. It was an enjoyable fight because it's like it turned like the wasps into bombs, and if they touched you, you died.
And it was like with the sweat as well.
First bomb, I don't think. I think it's a little worse than the first bomb, but I'm happy putting it in C.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't think we need to talk more about Tusk. Act 4 is
Nope.
insane.
This is so good.
And the other acts are also like, Act 1 is like C, Act 2 is like B, Act 3 is like A, and Act 4 is obviously S. And so all combined is S. It could end the world if it wanted to.
Just this, like, I'm going through the wiki on each of these, and there's just a sentence. Tusk Act 3 is the second evolution of Tusk, unlocked when Johnny witnesses Jesus counseling him.
I would go for a counseling session with Jesus.
Honestly, who wouldn't?
Okay, so now we have Pork Pie Hat Kid stand, Wired. After this is the point where I start to enjoy Part 7. Starting with
I like it a lot before that.
wasn't a
Part
huge
7
fan.
is probably like one of my favourite ones.
Fair enough.
This one's just like Beach Boy though, isn't it?
It
It's
is
a
basically just
wire.
Beach Boy again.
And it can hit you, and it can also teleport through things, I think, like through the little water bottle. So I think it's slightly better than Beach Boy, but it's not great. I think it's a solid candidate for D tier.
Yep.
It's like
Sounds
it'd
good.
be higher than Beach Boy in the D tier rankings if we were to order them, but it's still not great. Scary Monsters is terrifying.
Straight A, I'd say.
I think it's straight. I don't think it's S, but it is A. So you
I
have
don't
dinosaurs.
want to cure
and-
disease, I want to turn people into dinosaurs.
Yeah, because it's not only because if we're counting it, both Dr. Ferdinand and Diego stand, it transfers over to Diego. And if I remember correctly, Diego can still make other people into dinosaurs. He just chooses not to. Like he makes the little dinosaurs that track Funny Valentine. In the Diego versus Funny Valentine fight. So it can basically it could kill the whole world and turn them all into dinosaurs if it wanted.
And I don't know why he didn't.
Diego, you could literally rule the world. I don't know why you want to win this race. You could just turn everyone to dinosaurs.
Come on.
But it isn't quite S because you can very easily kind of counteract it. In as much as like you can just resist the infection if you have a certain kind of stand or a corpse part.
Yeah.
And he doesn't really use it to its full ability. But it is great. It's easily A tier. Like, the dinosaur alone is really strong, but then the infection added onto it pushes it further.
Yeah.
Cream starter. I
It
love Hot Pants.
sucks.
Hot Pants is like S tier, but Cream starter isn't great. How do you feel about Cream
It's
starter?
just kind of gross.
It really is kind of gross.
I mean, it does allow like Hot Pants and Lucy to disguise themselves. Like when Lucy disguises as Scarlet.
I think it's a D.
I think it's a D as well, and it can
Yeah.
and it can restore wounds. Like it restores the wounds on Thingy, on Slow Dancer when Funny Valentine chucks the alternate world Hot Pants' Cream starter to Johnny.
Yeah.
Mandem.
Oh, this is probably one of my favorite fights in the series. I love it.
Mandem fight is really good. We love Ringo. Mandem itself, I think it's a little weaker than the other time abilities.
Yeah,
So it
definitely.
can rewind time
I
by
think
5
it's an A.
seconds.
6.
Is it 6? 6 seconds.
It's 6 seconds. You're underestimating Ringo.
Damn it, I'm underestimating his power. It's gonna get me. I'm not part of the True Man's world. But not only does Ringo remember what happened in the 6 seconds, everyone else remembers what happened in the 6 seconds as well. So it basically puts them on an even footing. Which is kind of, I guess, kind of Ringo's jam, isn't it? He wants everyone to be on an even footing. So I guess I think it's a B. Time stop abilities are inherently kind of broken.
Yeah.
But
Is this
Ringo
Catch the Rainbow? The
This
next one?
Catch the Rainbow.
I'll just
Great.
chuck it in E.
Like, if it were raining all the time, if he lived in the UK,
Oh, he'd be great.
Not in the last few days.
Oh,
not in the last
no.
few days, most of the time he'd be up there. But like, yeah, not great if it's not raining. A Silent Way. So this is just basically just echoes. It's literally just echoes.
It's cool though.
It is cool, I like it, but it is just Echoes Act 2.
Mm.
But it doesn't have the different acts, so I kind of feel like a C on it, almost. Because it's just one
I'd say
act.
so.
It's nothing really special.
No. I wish Sandman had been explored more, because I really liked his character, and the way they introduced Part 7 with him, I thought they were going to build up more to it, then he just gets used in one fight and dies.
I thought he was going to be one of the main characters.
Same. I really liked him, I liked his running ability.
Yeah, he was really cool.
So this is Sugar Mountain Stand, so you get a ton of money if you're honest and truthful. And then you have to give it all away by the end of the day, or else you get sucked into the tree. You don't die, you get sucked into the tree, and then you have to wait your turn to get out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an F.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Tattoo You.
It's
So
not
this
great.
is you've got 12 guys inside you. I loved how Gyro won this fight when he went, hey 13 men, you have 12 guys inside you. Isn't that kind of gay? And then embarrassment.
It's Tuesday.
It's decent. I mean, you can teleport between the different like heads, can't you? So like, if one was over there, you could like go inside another one of the guys and come out, and you'd be in a different location.
But
But
it's
it
a
doesn't
D
have any
though, I
inherent
think.
power other than that.
No.
Is that D tier?
Yeah, I'm feeling D tier.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we now have tubular bells. So, if I remember correctly, this like comes out and attacks you if you like have a certain scent on you. Is it?
I don't really remember this one.
He blows any metallic object to inflate them like he would a rubber balloon.
It's what kills Scarlet.
The shape of the balloon seems to depend on the shape of the inflated object. He's able to model the metal, choose to create balloon animals most of the time. he can register someone's scent into a balloon, which will automatically attack anyone with the same scent.
Yeah, so that's what I remember. And it'll
And
like
then-
so like when Lucy goes in, it like smells Lucy and it starts attacking her. 'Cause it's,
When
like,
the
they
balloon
put it under Valentine's
animals,
bed to automatically guard the heart.
Oh, yeah.
it like burrows into your body and reverts back to what it was originally. So if it was like a razor, it like he blows up the razor, it goes into your body, and then turns back into a razor.
It's like Metallica almost. I think it's like a.
It's like a worse Metallica, basically.
So we're gonna put a tier below Metallica then?
Yeah, like a high B.
Though
Right.
famous, having razors in your body doesn't do anything in JoJo, so
It doesn't like. Doppio got like 200 of them and managed to live. I don't know how. 20th Century Boy.
because he could see the future.
And you had the boss who helping him out. Okay, so 20th Century Boy.
Can't remember what it does.
So if basically
Oh, it's magenta.
can become invulnerable to everything, but he can't move whilst he's invulnerable to everything.
To like channel it into the ground.
Yeah. He gets ultimate caused in the end because he goes to the bottom of the ocean and he can't drown because he's using 20th Century Boy, but he also can't leave because if he does, he'll drown. So it's pretty strong because like you can't die if you don't want to, but you also have to be very careful about when you pop it out.
Yeah, I think
time
it's
he straps a bomb to himself and is like, haha, like, I'm gonna blow you up this bomb and I'll be absolutely fine. So it can be useful in certain senses. How are you feeling?
I think it's a C.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I see.
It's a great defensive stand, but it doesn't have many offensive capabilities. Civil War. Guilt Trip the stand. How are we feeling about Civil War?
Basically.
So it brings up the corpses of the past to attack you and make you feel guilty, if I remember correctly. And like, if you kill the user's guilt is like pushed back onto you, which allows them to live.
Maybe like a B then.
A B? I could go for B. We're filling up B. B is almost full.
Oh.
B is full. I'm just gonna continue on like here. We really love B tier.
Big fan.
We're feeling B then?
Yeah, B.
Sure. Okay. This is Filthy Axe at a reasonable price.
S. No,
I think it probably is an S, honestly. It's really good.
Yeah,
if we're
especially-
counting Love Train as well.
Are we counting Love Train? Let me see. We're counting Love Train, yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, that's an
Yeah,
S.
definitely yes.
We're not counting Ticket to Ride, but we are counting Love Train. So now we have Chocolate Disco. Yeah, it's pretty much just a filler stand.
Basically.
E or D?
I love how, like, just the stands get weaker, but it just means, all the characters have to, like, they're just really weird. I love
The
it.
stand's still weaker to adjust for Gyro not having a stand, really.
Yeah,
Apart from, like, Ball
he's just
Breaker,
got
very
balls.
So should we say D then to be generous?
Yeah, we'll be nice to you. DSKO. Like his name is literally Disco as well. Okay, so Ticket to Ride. So this is the paper thing that Lucy had that she could like cut people with. And it would make the damage exaggerated. And I think it's also when Lucy turns into the Holy Corpse
Basically.
and dies. E or F? I think E.
Yeah, A. It's not quite F.
It's not quite F because it does have like some usage. Ball Breaker.
So- Blade of Tears.
Yeah, that's it. So I like her tears turn into a blade.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know the full potential of Ball Breaker, but it seems pretty powerful. It's basically a better Grateful Dead because it ages you exponentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it turned Valentine really old, and that was only in a couple seconds, and it wasn't a perfect spin. If you'd hit the golden ratio, it'd probably be Tusk level. So I think the way we saw it was A, but it could definitely be S. I don't think we need to talk about the world. It's the world.
Yep.
Yeah, basically.
The world is the world.
Does it have any extra abilities in
It doesn't.
Part 7?
It doesn't. No, I don't believe so. I think it might be. It's a bit slenderer. It's a bit more slender, so I don't know if it's as strong.
Yeah.
But it's the world. It's A tier. Okay, now we're on to what potentially may be the best part. JoJolion. This is
Oh my
getting
god,
fun.
we've made it.
This is down to
Well,
list. Obviously, this is still in syndication, as of right now, this is an accurate stand tier list. Like, this is all the stands as of right now. There may be more added. I doubt it, because it feels like we're finally coming towards the end. But if there are, I'm sorry. So
There's
soft
so
and
many
wet.
stands already.
There are so many already in Part 8. And they really made up for Part 7, because a lot of these are quite strong, actually. So soft and wet, how are we feel about soft and wet?
I think it's really good.
I also think it's really good. I feel like we haven't seen it use its
Yeah, pretty
abilities
cool.
nearly as much lately. Like, I feel it's been a while since we've seen a proper, like, bubble. But it
Mhm.
is really powerful. It can steal... It could, like, steal your breath.
Basically.
And you could just die. It was able to steal, like... It's able to steal the friction from the floor. It stole something from Dyer that let him win that fight. It's really powerful, and it's a punch ghost. We love it. I think
Yeah,
most JoJo's honestly qualify for A tier.
Definitely A.
Sadly, I had to make a compromise. Fun is terrible. It is a worse... It's a worse Justice, a much worse Justice. Though. It's like Justice was like A tier, but like this is like
Yeah.
D, I think. So you have to be above someone to control them, which means you can't really see where they are, and you have to be in like basically you have to be in a house in order to control them, and you have to get all 4 limbs in order to properly control them.
Yeah.
Waste of time.
Mm-hmm.
California King Bed is pretty powerful. It's like a little worse than Jailhouse Lock, but like still pretty good. I think we should put it in C because we put Jailhouse Lock in B, and this is like a worse Jailhouse
Yeah.
Lock. It can take 3 memories from you if you try and like fuss over Dyer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's not quite as powerful, but it is still pretty powerful. Born This Way. So this automatically tracks you
It's just
and does
just
the
the
ice
bike.
thing if you open or close a thing. So once you learn its trick,
yeah.
it's pretty easy to beat, but if you don't know its trick, it's like, what the hell is this thing doing? How are we feeling?
I think it's really good.
Yeah.
A?
I'd say it's an A, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it can go, it's really fast, it's really strong. The ice, like the
Just-
wind power, is also kind of terrifying.
The like tornado thing.
Yeah. And I have a theory that this is where they got the idea for Makoto Nijima's persona from, because it's literally just bike that does ice things.
Wait, when did this come out?
That was like 2012, because it was like very early Part 8.
Oh my god, it's been going for 8 years. Jesus Christ.
Well, Part 8 started in 2011.
Wow.
It was just, that was like chapter 18, so it was like after a year of syndication. It's Paisley Park.
So
I love this one.
This is one of my favorite stands design-wise, and I love Yasuho. Yasuho is my favorite JoJo character. Full disclaimer. So I might be a little biased.
Where are you planning to put it?
I don't know, so it has 2 abilities. It can hack into stuff. It's the master hacker. It can hack into anything. But at the same time, it also has the thing where like it'll be like, do you want a knife or a banana? You've got 10 seconds to choose. And then it will like manipulate the universe to make whatever object you chose come in handy in some way. So in that sense, it is like, it has universe manipulation abilities, which I feel is like inherently kind of powerful.
I would give it a solid B.
Yeah, I'd say
It doesn't have
solid B.
many
It's pretty
offensive
cool.
capabilities, but it's like the ultimate support stand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is the leaves on Shakedown Road.
Not great.
Really? Because I
Well,
was
it's
thinking,
leaves.
so they make you spin so fast that you don't even notice how fast you're going. Like when like Josuke crashed into the fish tank, like it went so fast that you didn't even notice it. And they could swap things. It's like, it's an advanced form of the spin, basically, because it's been there for like whoever knows how long. So I feel like it's probably associated with the corpse.
I mean,
like
it's
C.
again more of it's more of a utility, isn't it?
Yeah. No one controls it though, so it's entirely unbiased.
So like C then maybe?
Yeah, because as long as you know the secret of it, you can use it to your advantage, which is what Joshu eventually does. Speaking of Joshu, Nut King Cole. Everyone's
I think
favorite.
Nut King Call's really good.
It's really good. I think it's
It's
A.
like unscrews you.
It can unscrew you. It's like Zipperman, basically.
Mm-hmm. I think that
To
makes
say
sense.
Superman.
Superman, no.
Didn't even notice.
I know.
It's so natural now. Yeah, it unscrews you. It's about as good as Sticky Fingers, so I think it belongs in A. And it has, like, it seems to have quite a decent amount of power. Hopefully next month we're gonna get a Joshi versus Tori fight.
I really hope
I
so.
really hope so, and I really hope that we get a good fusion with Yasuho, rather than like Yasuho x Joshi fusion. King Park.
Don't.
Okay, so Paperman King. I think Paperman King is kind of powerful. So not only can it like make anyone who touches it see everything as one thing, which is how they killed like
Face
the user of
blindness.
Dubiwa, it also thingies. It can like take on the properties of whatever it turns into. So if it's like a fire truck, it can like spray water everywhere. Which I think is inherently kind of powerful. But it doesn't have much offensive power.
It's got like the power of prosopagnosia. Face blind.
Ooh.
Thank you.
Well done.
I'm very clever.
How do you feel?
I think it's probably like a C or a
Like
D.
a high C, maybe. Oh, D? Really?
Yeah.
I think high C. I think it's powerful enough, like, but because it can take on the, like, it could take on like the ability of fire and would burn you.
Yeah. I guess C works. Yeah.
King Nothing. I love Norisuke. May he potentially rest in peace. But King Nothing is kind of bad.
But yeah.
So bad.
It's just kind of terrible. It doesn't even like track as well as some other stands, like, and it has no offensive capabilities.
Mhm.
It's like Highway Star without anything that makes Highway Star good. Okay. I'm a rock. Are you a rock?
Certainly am.
No.
So when you attack it, like it brings things towards you, so it's sort of like Bastet, but without having the dumb need to like touch a thing to activate it. So I'm kind of see.
Yeah, C.
Because it could just bring like, what it ended up bringing was like pesticide towards them, I think, and the pesticide was like poisonous, so they just got like poison all over them. That's pretty powerful. Okay, Speed King. We love you, Joshu, my favourite little bug man. Not Joshu, Jovin.
Jobin.
Ah,
Honestly.
I think speaking's really good.
Jacksepticeye.
Stand at the moment.
Okay.
Hmm?
Sorry, what was that? You cut out, I think.
Yeah, a little bit.
I'd say we really need this one in the UK at the moment. It is too hot.
It really is too hot. Just like pinpoint it all to one area. Okay, so is it an A though? Because it's like it can make heat, but only in like one specific area, and it's a lot of heat enough to kill someone.
Well, it like stores it.
It stores it, yeah.
So like, you can like, wasn't it like the heat got stored in a phone or something, and then when he put it up to his head, it like burnt his.
But
eye
it's
out
like,
or
yeah.
something.
Like
A,
high C then?
B, C.
A.
I think it's probably like a solid B or an A.
Should have the first be part of the extended B tier.
I think it's worth.
Oh, yep.
I think it's worth it. You get that honor, Jobin. You may have potentially died, and you aren't the villain,
Congratulations.
but you do get the honor of being our first extended B tier. Dubiwa is amazing. So it's a tornado that if you breathe, it immediately catches up to you and hurts you, and it will.
Oh, this is what I thought the motorcycle one was.
Oh no!
I thought that was linked to Dubiwa
No.
because I
is
read
like
this
a
years ago.
tornado that chases you.
Yeah,
If you breathe.
this one is really good.
It's really good.
I think it's probably an A.
Is it an A or an S?
I don't think it's quite S, maybe high A.
It's definitely not an S.
Because it could chase you indefinitely, and like as long as you breathe. Like the only reason the user lost was because they got ran over by a bus. Like, otherwise they'd be basically invincible. A, sure. Okay. I'm here to make the case for Love Deluxe being an A tier stand.
I cannot remember what he does.
So it's basically
Makes
like
hair
Love
grow
Deluxe, but
whenever.
better. So it can regrow hair. It can grow hair anywhere, and it can control the hair, and it can. It's basically like the Purple Haze distortion to Love Deluxe's Purple Haze. Let me.
It's just
Can I
like
get another
slightly
wiki page on
better. Yeah.
So Carrera
Has
I
control
found
over
it
people's hair, but only with an 80-meter range of herself. She genuinely uses Love Deluxe to scam people by making them think she can grow their hair back permanently. So it's a money stand.
Yeah, but it's really good. Like you could like grow hair all over someone and then control them and like make them into a little like shell.
That sounds terrifying.
Yeah,
That's
like,
really scary, yeah.
a little hair shell. I think it's low A tier, but I don't think it's A tier.
I think it's a B.
Have it in extended B.
Big fan of B tier.
B is just like gone off the charts. Okay, so this is
Literally.
Schlock Key #1. So these are the Aphex brothers. So this
Oh,
is the
put him
one-
in D.
This one's E. If he has it in one hand, he can transport it to the other. So
Oh,
like,
that's
Wow.
it's just useless. You could only just like pass it between your hands, but no, he just transports it. So it's like useful if like you were in handcuffs or something, and that's about it. Slot key #2. So this one is like a football, and then it poisons you if you open up the football.
That sucks.
Yeah, it's not even a good poison. It's like a very terrible version of Purple Haze. I think D, because like it can hurt you, but it's very situational and kind of weak. Like
Yeah.
you can kick the football at someone and it'll poison them. That's about the only use. Okay, now to the really good stands.
Vitamin C.
Part 8, Vitamin C
Vitamin C's really good.
is amazing. So
I
if
think
you,
it's an A.
if you touch the walls of a place, you disappear and like flatten into like invisible space. And it can basically trap you just by entering your home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
And just really good generally. Okay, Killer Queen 2.
Killer Queen is Killer Queen.
It's S.
It doesn't have.
So it doesn't have Bites the Dust.
Oh, true,
So
true.
this is different to the original Killer Queen. So basically what it has is it has 2 bombs. So bomb A is like the Stray Cat bubbles. So it'll launch bubbles at you, and then the bubbles blow up on impact. But they're a lot stronger explosions than the original Killer Queens. So whereas the original Killer Queens are like very specific in an area, these are like giant explosions. Like when he blows the whole boat up, that was with those bombs. And then he also has little mini sheer heart attacks. Like he has like 20 mini sheer heart attacks that he can send out. That I like he uses like to put in people's bloodstreams and stuff, so he can control them, like very very discreetly. But they still have those bombs. So I think like even though he doesn't have all the same abilities as original Killer Queen, I think the ones he does have are still just as powerful.
Yeah. I don't know if he has the like he actually has the first bomb. Like it's just the bubbles.
It's the bubbles, but
So-
the bubbles are like really powerful. Like they're the less discreet explosions than the original Killer Queens. They're like massive. So there's a lot
Should we
more
say, like,
power.
Higher then, not quite
I'd
S.
say high A, yeah.
Hi, okay. I love you, Party Kira. We're gonna have to do it too.
Rest in peace.
Walking Heart is terrible.
It's really
So she can extend her heels, which is really terrifying when you think like you picture Hato doing it when she's not wearing shoes. She's
Oh
like
my
just
God.
flesh.
Have you watched
Spike.
Kingsman?
I haven't, no.
Oh,
Isn't there someone with like giant heels in that though that can like extend?
basically, yeah, and they just like flip around and slash you with them.
Yeah, that's what this is. It's terrible though. I mean, she can like walk on walls with it and like kick. She kicked Damo Tamaki in the face with it and like cut through his neck. So I think it does have power. But like you'd have to like be facing someone with your feet or kick them. And you can walk
Yeah.
walls and that's it. E or D?
Like maybe high E.
Hot take C.
C.
Yeah, I think they're really good. Well, not really good, but you can just like
Should we compromise the
No.
no ID then?
really long heels. That's pretty cool.
I mean, she could walk
I
on water with it.
suppose.
She could walk upside down with it. She could kick someone in the face with it and like pierce through their eyeballs.
Mm.
You just have to know what you're doing with heels.
Yeah.
And you'd have to wear heels all the time, which is really uncomfortable. So D. Okay, Kato stands. This is Kato stand, which are like the cards. We don't know what they do yet. But she's clearly not very powerful, or else she would have broken out of prison.
Very, very true.
I don't know what she does. E. Okay, so this is Malagra Man. So you get the curse, and then you get money until you die from being suffocated by money.
Yeah.
So whenever you spend money, you get more back. Which could be counteracted, might I remind you, by the Gucci bag. The Gucci bag could just destroy Malagra Man.
Best bag, honestly.
The best
Best
combo
bag. We're
in
moving up
JoJo.
first here.
Yes. Come on, where's...
Sadly not. Yeah, Malagra Man's F. It probably killed the user, and it's killed everyone else since. Except for Josh, who basically just said, fuck you, take my money. In case this is Blue Hawaii, this is another zombie stand. If you get like spit or anything, any kind of bodily fluids on you, you turn into like a zombie that's controlled by the user. It's not great, it's not terrible.
Doesn't seem very good.
Nah, should we chuck it
He
in
was like
deep?
able to resist it for a while. Like I think he got spit on him, and then he was able to like resist it for a while. So if you just have a strong enough will, which is probably what most stand users have, you could just dodge it, or at least resist it for a little while. But then again,
think
Josuke's only saved by by Yasuho managing to track her down.
It's
So-
pretty good. Like, it's not
C?
that awful. I'd say it's a C, yeah.
Like a low C, maybe.
Very low C, yeah. We'll put it in the Kenny G. The Kenny G corner, we're calling this. Although there is no room for the Kenny G corner with B tier anymore. Okay, so
No.
Doggy Style. Doggy Style is a much
Doggy's-
worse.
It is
Stone
the
Free.
sequel to Oh Lonesome Me.
It is. Okay, so where do we have Lowlands and Me? In E? And we
It's
have
ju-
and we have Stone Free in
I'd say
something.
Doggy Style is a D. Probably.
A very high D. We're gonna put it in the very high D. We're gonna put it in the opposite of the Kenny G corner.
Yeah.
Just directly in between Oh Lonesome Me and Stone Free. So now we goodbye to the coloured manga and hello to Black and White House. This is Brainstorms. This is the standard of Urban Gorilla.
Yeah.
It's the little poison cubes that and they turn you into cubes when it touches you, and they
It's-
disintegrate you.
It's sort of like Rat.
It's sort of like Rat. Where do we put Rat? We put Rat in B. But I think it's a bit worse than Rat because it doesn't have the turret. I don't think it does it quite
Yeah.
as fast, and it can't turn you into a cube. So is C okay for that?
Yeah, C seems fine.
Awesome. We're almost at the end now.
We're doing it, we're doing it.
We're doing it. We're at the end. Okay, so Ozone Baby is really good. I love this fight,
Basically.
but I also
Same.
understand it can like poison you, and the only reason they beat it was because like Jobin managed to have extreme luck.
Mm-hmm.
I think B.
Yep.
is
B
fine.
tier again.
We're like yeah,
Yeah.
just B. Yeah.
Just put the rest in B, honestly.
Let's just get this over with. It's really good. I love this stand, and I think like in any other circumstance, it's like Purple Haze wherein it's a sledgehammer and it will kill everyone.
Basically.
And like poor Tomo was only able to get to use it because he managed to trick Jobin into thinking it wouldn't kill him.
Yeah. This is Dr. Wu.
Yes, this is Dr. Wu. This is Wu Tomoki stand. I don't know why it's just called Dr. Wu. I think Araki.
Because he is a
less
Wu
weight
and
than
he
the
is a
stand.
doctor.
It's gone from like Bad Company and Superfly and Spice Girls to like I Am a Rock, Dr. Wu.
I mean, there's some good references
There
in
are.
this one. There's the shop keys.
Da da da. Which when I first read that last week, I read it like the cockroach dancing meme.
Yeah.
That's how I read it in my head when I read that. I was like, da da da. Wu Tomoki. So he has like he can turn himself into little particles and go inside someone, which is kind of creepy. He is the Ant-Man in Thanos' bum.
He really is.
He really is. He could go inside you and like rip you apart from the inside, and could also go inside you and perform medical procedures, which I think puts him in D. Like he's not as bad as like some of these because he has like an actual practical usage. So
Yeah,
you could like, he was like saying you could like reduce the risk of the Rokakaka,
basically.
and he could kill you from the inside, especially if you're Thanos. So.
Especially if you're Thanos, yeah.
So this is Awakening
Thank you.
Leaves. It's really
It's
good.
pretty good.
It's really, really good. I think it's A tier, honestly.
Really?
I would make a case for it. So it can just deflect any energy that comes at it at someone else. So that's an offensive capability and a defensive capability, and it has... Because I always thought it had 3 leaves because of the name, but it has as many as it wants. So it
Really?
can, like, chuck out... Yeah, it can chuck out like as many as it wants. So it can
I
like...
thought it was only 3 arrows.
Nah, I think it's more than that. You can check if you want, but... So
I guessed it was just because, like, that's how many you need to make a vector.
Yeah, like when you make a vector, you need 3, but she can check out as many as she wants. So Mitsuba, like she can reflect, like she reflects like something that kills her at one point. She like knocks Wutamaki outside of her. I think it could defeat like so many of these stands. Honestly, I'm happy with settling for B,
I think it's an A, probably.
but like the vector
It's-
especially is so powerful.
Yeah, it's so weird having like that stand Star Platinum in the same one though.
It's like a Fusrodar stand basically, isn't it?
Yeah. Just pushes your array.
Pushes.
To say array.
Okay, so this is the head doctor. This is Toru's stand, which I'm tentatively naming the Wonder of You, although I've also heard some people mention that the Snoop Dogg song Head Doctor might be the reference.
Yeah,
and that'd be really cool.
I was thinking it was just called Head Doctor.
Who knows? But so this seems to, from what we understand, it seems to cause bad luck. Like
Yeah.
Well, that can I be luck?
KR, where it causes like universal bad luck and to the worst degree. So like if you get a cut, it's gonna come back to you as like your arm's dropped off, your nan's just died.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I wasn't thinking it was just like bad luck. I thought it's just like if you try to see its face, it'll just like
if you try and pursue
summon
the head
some
doctor, if you have even
whatever.
the intent to pursue the head doctor, then like anything that hurts you is gonna hurt you 10 times more.
Mhm.
Honestly.
Even more than that, I think things are just more likely to hurt you. Like, you're more likely to have something to get hit by.
Yeah. Honestly, I think it's S tier.
I think it is really good, yeah.
Just get
Yeah.
hospitalized by some rain.
Mm.
Rain is serious business, come on.
And like,
So
and a guy died from it, and he got framed for murder from it, which I think the whole framing for murder bit, like everyone wanting to arrest him, was also part of the stand's ability. Like that, like the fact that people wanted to arrest him was part of the damage from pursuing it.
Yeah.
And currently, where we're at in the manga, like they basically cannot track the head doctor down because of it. They're having to get him to come to him.
Mhm.
I think it's S.
Well,
Obviously,
they're
don't
like
have
in
anything
the
to
same
do
room
that,
now.
but for now, it's S.
When is the next chapter?
I'd probably at the 18th of next month, I assume.
Okay.
It's when around they drop is 18th of every month. And I can't wait. Okay, so now finally the final stand,
Ooh.
the World of a Heaven, is going in
Oh,
the bullshit tier.
Double S.
Ha 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 ha, unless we'll put it over the S.
Yeah, this is now World Over Heaven tier.
This is the World Over Heaven tier. The world has even taken over the tier itself. That's how powerful the world is. It's basically just the fuck you, I win stand. And we love that for it. And there we go. With that is every stand in JoJo Rank. We did it. It took us like
Yay!
Oh my god, how long did that take?
12 hours, but we did it.
Oh my god!
Whoa.
Did you guys have fun?
I had
Yeah, it
fun.
was really
Hell
cool,
We
yeah.
ranked every stand. Maybe someday we'll be back to rank every character. In
Don't
Oh
get
my
your hopes
God.
up.
Final
No.
covered from this. So in S, we have the fabled S tier. We have Cream, Heaven's Door, Killer Queen, Original, Gold Experience Requiem, Purple Haze. We're calling this Purple Haze Distortion. White Snake, Weather Report, Made in Heaven, Tusk Act 4, but all the tusks really. Dirty Deeds Done Cheap, Love Train, whatever this is called, the world of the heaven, and the green grass of home. Thank you, everyone. And to whoever may be watching this and whatever hell you're living in, good night.